I promise, Dirk, I'm going to get intro music for the Eyebashers set up. I'm going to use your tracks that you sent me.
Oh, we're
Hello,
live. I
everybody.
didn't even realize. Bashers, bashers. Ah,
uh, is that a chorus of? Is that a choir?
it's like 30 of me going with a minor second.
That's your dream shit. Like if I was ever to write a song, that just to appease you, like just to appeal to you, rather.
Well, you've written
I'd
a
make it
couple that
full.
appealed to me.
I know, but like specifically like designed for you, let's say.
Yeah.
I would just fill it with shitloads of backing vocals and ahs and oohs because you're such a queen nut,
I mean, it all comes from the Beatles, doesn't it? It does.
They
They are
started
just an
so much
extension of
stuff.
that,
They started so much stuff. The Beatles are responsible
for all of it. They're
for
responsible for
everything.
all. They're the blueprint of everybody. Without them, could you imagine what the state of music would be? I mean, they invented genres as they went.
They
Just
did.
they were the R&D of rock and roll. I mean, we had Elvis and Chuck Berry because everybody plays they all that. Everybody still does that.
Yeah.
Box blues and all that shit. However, the Beatles were the first ones to. I mean, Helter Skelter. That's the first metal song ever, isn't it?
Ever.
I mean, it's got to be. They invented so many genres.
Gary Smith, it's Friday in Italy. No, this is not Who Needs a Drink. This is Eyebashers, man. Totally different show. Totally different channel.
Bashers.
Let me pull up the Eyebashers channel. Just get people to sub over there because it's getting
Come on,
desperate.
Sub-a-rooney.
You know what? I'm making it too easy for them.
Oh, I know.
It's because they don't have to. I have to force them to, and then they will.
How do you force them to? With a gun?
You just don't. You don't. No. You just don't give it to them on this channel. You advertise it on this channel, but they have to go find it on the other. And
I have a question.
You do a giveaway or something like that, so that they feel like they're missing out. The FOMO, the fear of missing out.
Oh, the fear of missing out, right?
There you go, Eyebashers, guys. That's the channel. It's going on. If you want to pop over there,
it's over there.
On exactly at the same time. You won't miss a beat. It's the same exact show going out on two channels right now, so you won't miss a thing.
Yeah, because you'll do it on both streams, and it'll have like 6,000 views on the Ashino Malley channel, and then it'll be like 547 on the Eyebashers channel. Like,
yeah, if you're lucky, that would be good. It's usually like 90, So yeah, dudes, and this is Eyebashers. It's not necessarily watch content. We will be talking about a bit of watches tonight, but we stray into everything. I mean, we'll talk about bloody everything, won't we? Last week we had a big long thing about the Middle East. So, and before that we talked about, I don't know, bloody Tina Turner's legs, whatever the hell comes to mind,
Sure.
By the way, she does have great legs.
She had great legs.
She had great legs.
She was, I mean, my God in heaven.
I don't know why I just came out with that. But there's
but
Eyebashers
this
form
is funny.
for you.
Stick to watches.
Yeah, a lot of response coming in from that video.
Tonight we're going to talk a little bit about my favorite guy wearing my favorite watch.
You got a pick? We can take a look.
Oh yeah, I'll get one. I mean, so I'm watching the morning show, right? And I love the show. It's a really good show. Jennifer Aniston's having an affair with Jon Hamm, so she did her first nude scene. We talked about that, and all that stuff. It's juicy. It's kind of like, I hate to say it, it's morphing into kind of a soap opera.
Fair enough.
It's
most shows do. Most shows do. Once people fall in love with the characters, most shows do. Now, guys, before we continue, we will be discussing a little bit, not too much. We won't be getting too heavy, but of course, we're not going to ignore current affairs and so on. It's very distasteful, I find, or at least it's a tad tone deaf when channels and especially Instagram are just completely ignoring what's going on in the world. I get if people don't want to get involved, but it's like as if nothing's happening. We will be discussing, and of course, 2 hostages were released just the other day, and it's very, very interesting. And I'm sure plenty of you have tuned in tonight to listen to more of what we were talking about last week. It was a monumental show last week. I think everybody agrees. We had some of the best guests we've ever had on there, but we're also going to keep things a little light also. So we won't be ignoring the elephant in the room, but we will be having a good old chat, which is what myself and Dirk are best at doing. So you saw him on the show and he's sitting there, and the next thing he raises his arm and he's got your favorite fucking Rolex on.
I mean, it was the weirdest thing ever. I'm sitting there and I go, wait a second. And I just got a new box, by the way. I just got a new streaming box.
Nice.
I've been doing a little finagling for my friend Paul Huston and my friend Rose and trying to get their bills down with our cable subscriber in New York City, which is Spectrum. And I met this absolutely fabulous guy. I'll pump him out. His name is Robert, and he works at the Spectrum store in Long Island City. And this guy is just the nicest guy. He's like, wow, you're like a good Samaritan. Let me give you something. And he gave me this thing called a Xumo, XUMO box. And he also gave me, like, I cut the cable 3 years ago. So I don't have like New York One and the basic channels on Spectrum. I use an antenna for the local channels, and I have 6, 7, 8 streaming services. So I plugged this thing in. He gave me Spectrum TV for free for 3 years, and this box was fantastic. So I'm just learning how to use it, and I'm watching the morning show last night, and I'm like, what was that? And then I hit pause, right, and I'm gonna blow this up. And it's Jon Hamm. And what's his name from Almost Famous? He's the star of the show.
Billy Crudup.
Billy Crudup, yeah. So this wasn't the particular scene. He was on the phone, and I went, whoop, and I hit the pause button, and it's like, oh, fuck. This guy is wearing the actual, like the 116400 GV blackface. My absolute favorite Rolex. I don't have one
with the green
crystal. Yeah,
that is the one you love.
That's the one.
That to the Z blue.
The Z blue. I just don't think the green and the blue are great. I don't think that they're a great match. I really don't. I think the green juxtaposed with the black dial and the 3, 6, 9 orange indices. They glow in blue. The rest is in green. It's just a sexy watch. And there he is wearing the fucking Milgauss. And you know what? He towers over everybody when you see him in the scene. He's a big dude because that watch, it's 40 millimeter. I've tried it on 1,000 times. I had a fake one for a while, which was.
How tall is he?
He's 6'2".
Oh, he's 6'2". I don't think of Jon Hamm as being particularly tall.
He's 6'2".
You said he was 5'11" or 5'10".
No, he's a big guy.
So that's why the watch doesn't look especially massive on him.
No, it looks like he's wearing like a Lady Datejust in a lot of the scenes. I'm like, wow, that watch really looks small on that guy. Holy crap. And that watch, I'm not saying it wears big or anything, but it's thicker, because it's got the Faraday cage in it. It's a little bit deeper than any of the other Oyster Perpetuals. But
yes, it is.
I'm just absolutely mad for that watch. I think the contrast is beautiful. It's the most delicious thing. And I'm like, Jon Hamm, holy shit. Perfection. Absolutely perfection.
Yeah, there was a lot in that frame that you really liked.
I mean,
your favorite, or one of your favorite guys.
My favorite watch. Who's he's in Mad Men. Matthew Weiner, who was the creator of that show, told the cast, he gave them an edict that they could not go to the gym. He wanted no one to go to the gym because no one did go to the gym in the 50s and 60s.
Right. Yeah.
Everybody had just, whatever bodies that they had. Maybe they did push-ups or, calisthenics. They didn't go get ripped like everybody is now. So he wouldn't let anybody do it. So Jon Hamm, like when he would take his shirt off on the show, he'd just have like a regular guy body, handsome man, but regular body. Now he's really kind of dad bodded out. He's very comfortable in his 50s. And
he did all that stuff in his late 30s, right? All the Mad Men stuff.
Mad Men, he got signed to Mad Men when he was 38 years old. So he was already like, he was loitering around in Hollywood for 2 decades, getting nowhere.
That's right.
You know, he was sleeping on I Love You Man. Who's Dana's favorite guy in the whole wide world? What's his name?
Oh, Paul
Ant,
Rudd.
Paul Rudd, Ant-Man.
Yeah.
They were childhood friends back home in St. Louis, Missouri,
And he was sleeping
and
on his couch in LA.
sleeping on his couch. And then he met up with that woman, the writer, director. I can't remember anybody's names anymore. She wrote like somebody's wedding, and she would give him bit parts. She's a writer, director, and she's kind of a meh looking girl. But they were together for 20 years.
It's wild.
And they broke up on the final season of Mad Men when he finally won his Emmy Award. Got up on stage.
Success can change you. It can change life. Right?
Yeah, it
And
can
change a
change
person.
life. Yeah.
Well, they clearly found their balance because she was a producer of some sort, or someone in Hollywood. She was a power woman behind the scenes, if I'm not mistaken. So she was paying the rent.
For sure, she was paying her because he had no work. He had a couple of bit parts, and
but you know, she was out there moving and shaking in Hollywood, and then coming home to her boy toy, her beautiful boy, right? And he was happy to play that role. Then all of a sudden, he's got 50 million in the bank because now all of a sudden he's America's the face of America on TV, and next thing he can afford to buy his own house, and that's got to change the power dynamic between them. You know,
I'm sure it changed it. I mean, because he went from being nobody to being like a superstar. You know, holy shit. I mean, he was he became the it guy. Meanwhile, he was just the handsome guy that shared her bed. And her name is Jennifer Westfeldt.
All in her movements. Dirk is correct. The black GV has the best contrast. It's yummy and unique. It does have its fans that watch. It really does. I know everyone jumps for the Z Blue, and the Z Blue is stunning. But yeah, the black it's probably more of a practical option than the Z Blue.
Yeah,
Gary Smith said, "Don't forget to upvote." I almost did. Very good. Yeah, guys, upvote. Yeah, apparently it makes a difference. Just hit the thumbs up that's under the screen there. Oh yeah, there she is. Yeah, she's not all that, really, is she? I mean, for him,
you know, when you look like that, I mean, yeah, he loved her. She actually broke up with him, which is weird. She said, "I'm tired of being his mommy." I think she was quoted as saying.
Oh, dang. Really?
That's rough. That's pretty rough.
So think about it. He's wearing... That Milgauss is now discontinued. The Milgauss is now no longer a thing from Rolex.
No, it's gone.
Speculation is that it'll reappear in a few years in a new form.
It'll be 15,000 Gauss, not 1,000 Gauss, and
yeah, they kind of they're going to reinvent it, or at least that's what people think might happen. But for the moment, it is no longer available, and it's spiked in price there for a minute. Yeah, but then of course, with everything kind of cooling off on the watch market and returning to where it was in 2020 or 2021 or whenever, it just couldn't survive that long, because you know what, the Milgauss was never a super hype piece anyway to begin with.
Yeah, it wasn't, was it?
Yeah. So yeah,
but he's wearing it, and you know, now probably people are going to go bananas, and my bet, because that show's very popular, it'll probably pick up because, you know, somebody on TV's wearing it.
Well, that always does it, right?
You know,
I mean, the reason I bought a Seamaster 300M in the first place was because of James Bond.
Sure.
I mean, I didn't know it was the 300M. I was, you know, it was back when I didn't know watches, and I just went for it. That is the perfect representation of that watch there, because the green turns the black a little bit green.
It does.
Some sort of weird playing of light going on.
I mean, seeing it, the ring itself, you know, like, because it's look at how deep that green is. It's mineral glass, some kind. It's not sapphire, it's green mineral, and they grow it in their lab. So
It's the most expensive glass to replace, and it doesn't
yeah,
have the crown down at 6. It's the only one that doesn't have the crown etched inside the glass, like all
crazy,
of the
right?
Rolex do. Yeah, almost looks fluted there because of the crazy.
Almost says, "Hey, maybe the next one will be."
Yeah, perhaps if it ever comes back. I mean, that hasn't been confirmed in any way. It's just people
No.
saying, no, why would they get rid of it completely?
Mm,
But you know what? Perhaps they went from the old Air King to the new Air King in one shot. There was
yeah,
no
no
time
gap. Yeah,
between, no gap between those. And the Air King was basically this watch with a different dial.
pretty much.
Yeah, same exact form. Like from the side, it looked identical. Yeah,
That's just look at that sexy beast.
it is. It's great. There are very few of those shapes now in Rolex. That
No.
particular shape. I think the Sky Dweller has that kind of form
Mm.
there.
Mm.
This, you see the way these big long wings, like this beautiful, very shiny, very very nice. Yeah, it's a good watch. Mm.
Watches World and Watches says the glass is not mineral glass but sapphire. I didn't know that. I thought that they grew. I read an article once.
When you said, I would never contradict you when it comes to
Well,
the
you
watches
can.
that
You know a lot.
you're well, I mean, yeah, but when it comes to certain things that you're very passionate about, like Omega, and
Mhm.
especially this Rolex. But when you said mineral, I was like, hold on a minute. I thought it was green sapphire.
Now, how do they do that?
Well, I mean, you can get sapphires in all sorts of colors. People buy those tennis bracelets with little red and purple and yellow sapphires on them. And Audemars Piguet came out with those fully sapphire covered watches in different colors there last year. Only 20 of them available.
Yeah, it is indeed green sapphire. I stand corrected.
Des Ferris, great to see you in the room. Do you think Omega make better bracelets than Rolex?
No,
No, I don't think so.
no.
They make great bracelets, but they're not better. No, not than Rolex. I think Rolex have really, they just, whatever.
Mm.
They found the perfect bracelet form, and
I
it
mean, there
hasn't
are
been
some
beaten.
amazing ones, but
Yeah.
I mean, the 1451. I mean, that's there's some beautiful bracelets, but I think like the Beatles, I think Rolex really nailed it. The Oyster Perpetual. I mean, and the what am I saying? The Oyster. That is just like the classic men's bracelet. It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. And the way it tapers, Omega has a big problem with not tapering their bracelets, and that looks kind of shitty.
It
Even as an
can.
Omega fanatic like I am, it just looks less, you know, expensive. It looks a little like when you see somebody with a fashion watch, they don't have tapered bracelets. I mean, this bracelet is tapered. It's lovely. It's absolutely beautiful. Some of them do, some of them don't. I think they should fix
Yeah.
that and make them all tapered because it just is a more attractive look. Like you see Breitlings that don't have tapered bracelets, and that's why they're not in the pantheon of people don't talk about them. I think. You
You
know,
think because of the tapered bracelet?
I think that's a big part of it. I think there's a certain look. It's like getting
Yeah.
a shirt that's cut right, or a suit that's beautifully darted, or any of those things that we talk about with Michaela on the Watch Fashion Channel. The
Hmm.
police. When you get something that's fitted, I think a tapered bracelet looks fitted.
Yes.
And that's it.
Meanwhile, I've been spotting George Clooney wearing his Aquaterra with the blue dial a lot lately. And
Well,
then I don't see any issue. It still blings and it's still beautiful and looks great on him. Like, I
does
don't,
the Aquaterra bracelet not taper?
does not taper.
Yeah,
And
there
it's
you go.
shiny and gorgeous,
Yeah,
you know.
it's glittery. I mean, look how glittery mine is. It looks like like a president almost. This is one of the prettiest there ever.
Oakley's in the room. Now, Omega
Hey,
in
hey,
recent
hey.
years have sabotaged their brand. Today's release adding to the count. Is that the new Planet Ocean that came out? I think there's a new Planet Ocean now.
We're gonna go have a look at it.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab it now. Why not? Let's chat some watches. Oh, there's been like just social media and the internet has been just present. Everything going on. So it's nice to just staccare un attimo. Hai capito? Stacchiamo un attimo, va là. Just disconnect for a moment. Let me present a different screen. Here we are. This is the new one. Oh, sorry. It flicked to another page. This thing.
Yeah.
Yet another release. I feel like Omega, their antidote or their medicine for their, if they have any issues with selling watches, is to just release more stuff. And I think that's counterintuitive of them.
What movement is that I cannot pick off the top of my head?
How the fuck is this 25 grand?
Oh, because it's probably
First
made
of
of
all,
something crazy, right?
It's probably, what is it?
Tramite. What the hell is that?
Fucking notifications. No, thank you. Gray ceramic on a rubber bracelet.
It's a swatch. It's a moon swatch.
Gray ceramic. I mean, it's a ceramic watch. It's not the same as whatever that other
Not
shit is.
thermoplastic. Look at that. What could you blow that up?
Yeah.
Oh my lord. Looky there. The 8906 titanium. That's why, kiddo.
It's a titanium movement.
Jeez. I mean, have you ever seen? I mean, like I look at Omega movements for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I've never seen that. Doesn't look like anything that's ever come out of them. Look at that. Look at that. 2 barrels. Oh my. Oh
it's
my.
2 barrel. Wow. So it's probably got a power reserve like 10 days or something.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a titanium. Look, TI.
Yeah.
Titanium. It's a GMT. And this fucking thing is a beast. Obviously, it's indestructible. Let's have a look here.
45 mil.
No, it's a big beast. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say no.
No.
Wow. Dial is also made of sandblasted grade 5 titanium. I don't understand the differences between grades of titanium, but
you have to be
you have to be into
metallurgist.
Yeah.
Yeah, they love this dark gray, black gray, dark side of the moon. This is like a rut I think Omega's in with like doing these sandblasted kind of neutrals. It's kind of where they've lied, the blue. Everything's just, they've gotten away from anything that, like Rolex, everything's so glittery and beautiful and just like blah.
Yeah.
They're trying to walk down a different road. There it is on the same fucking NATO that Omega puts on every freaking watch. That's true. Is that the official NATO of Omega? It is, right?
It's got to be. I see it in so many different watches.
They put every watch is advertised on that thing. Their straps are like $700.
Not their NATOs. Their NATOs are like 180.
Yeah, the NATOs are cheap, but the leather ones are expensive.
I mean, cheap for a NATO? No, very expensive. No. But it says Omega.
Yeah.
Well, we got a little video.
Uh-oh. Ooh, we get sound. We did have sound.
Oh, we did. I don't want to play with the sound just in case there's a... I'll put a little in. That's sexy. Go on. Hey, if you're into Planet Oceans.
Yeah, my father-in-law's got a beautiful Planet Ocean, the original one. It's great. I thought that these were all very nice.
Oh, the blue ones? The what are they, summertime ones or whatever?
We'll give Reynold a call. See how are those doing, Reynold? How are they doing? Are they selling? I mean, they put a fucking, every single model out in that look. It's insane what they did. Look at that. Yeah, that's for the ladies with the circular Gauser. Look at that.
I wouldn't say no to that.
No, you would look good in that too.
Yeah, same.
That's right up your street, right? Look at that.
And there was a 600. There was a Planet Ocean. Yeah, that one I like. That Planet Ocean I dig.
that sits really high on the wrist, though.
Yeah, they're thick watches.
Yeah, it's probably like
And then, of course, there was the blow.
blow prof. I mean, look at that. This is the first blow prof they've made since what, 1987?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No, since 2011, I think.
Oh, they made one in 2011? Oh, they
Well, the
did.
one I had there for a bit.
Oh, I thought that was older. Ultra
No,
deep.
it's not older. No, the ultra deep, which turned out to be kind of a joke because they put that kind of glow in the dark shit on the fucking dial. I don't know. Anyway,
The Marianas Trench luminosity. It's where all the aliens live.
yeah, that's where. Yeah, and Ed Harris is down there with them, right?
I mean, we love that movie. Like one day, James Cameron will get around to rendering that for high definition. It's just not available in high def.
These things, these Oyster Perpetual ripoffs, I call them, the Aquaterras in 38 mil, with the different colors. Took a while to come out. They're beginning to dribble out now.
A year and a half after release.
Yeah, like it's very rare to see the orange or the red, coral red or whatever it is. Extremely rare.
Why did it take them so long to fabricate?
I don't know. Maybe it was a marketing issue. Who knows? Anyway, yeah, Mega. What are we gonna do? We love them, but it's who's in the chat? What are you guys saying? The Cara grade 2 doesn't really polish that well. Does titanium polish at all?
I don't think it does.
I don't think so. Does it? Fuck, I don't know enough about it. Marco, 5 is much harder and more difficult to work with. Well, I would say it would be very tough if they're going to put it on this one. Buckley, you can buy a two-tone Sea Dweller for 8K less. Omega's delusional with their pricing here. 44.5, hamburger on the wrist. Buckley coming in hard, as always. That's what we expect from our Buckley.
That bracelet is gorgeous. Is that perspective or is that tapered? It looks tapered.
It looks a bit tapered, doesn't it? Let me go back and find what it is. And that's very president bracelet looking, isn't it?
Very.
I don't know. Let's check. Of course, do you think they have some sort? They probably have a video. You might see in the video.
Oh, let's look at it on the wrist. Hard to tell. Looks like perspective to me.
Yeah. Hey, I love their movements.
Yeah, well,
these are beasts of movements. Like they're just stunning works of art. Rolex aren't there. Rolex, great movements by all means, but not the same kind of tanks as what Omega have been making for the past while. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They, horologically, Omega's been ahead of the game on most of the brands. The George Daniels connection, all of that stuff. But what is it? The difference is there's COSC certified, and then there's
the Metas
certified, and so
which
they go
more rigorous testing than COSC. Yeah,
Omega's extra. They're just extra. They're so extra. Have you heard that word extra used in that context?
I've heard it used a few times. Michaela said it a couple of times on the Monday night show. No, maybe extra. She hasn't. I don't know if she said it. Who said it? Maybe your niece said it.
She definitely said it. I had a chit chat with her. I keep going out of focus. I had chit chat with her for the next segment because she lives in London.
So apparently London is now it's been hit by the Parisian issue of bed bugs. Everybody was talking about Paris was so infested, all the hotel rooms. And of course, then the rugby was going on. Everyone was flying to Paris.
Yeah.
See the rugby. Well, apparently, I guess there were some Londoners in there too, because they brought the shit back.
So breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
So that's how you know the bites, guys. I know a lot about bed bugs because many years ago I had an apartment in Brooklyn, and I had a bed bug issue for a few months, and I had to take some mega steps to fix it. And that's how you know the difference. It appears to be like a mosquito bite, but there's three of them, and they're within an
Always.
inch or two of each other. And sometimes they're in a perfect triangle almost, three points. And in the hotel industry, it's referred to, because hotels suffer with this the most, it's referred to as breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Really gross.
Because they bite you and you might go like this or move, and then they bite you again, and then they do it, and then by the third time rolls around, they run off because they're filled with your blood.
Yeah.
They
Did she say anything about it? She's in London.
She said, and I quote, "I read about them being on the Victoria line, but that's about it. I'm on my way to Bordeaux this weekend. I'll let you know."
Yeah, apparently all over the trains, because it's all over Instagram and TikTok and stuff. People, like, they're crawling around the seats on the train there, on the tube, or on the,
I mean,
don't know.
bed bugs generally don't behave like that. They're not out in the open in the air during the day. They come out at night. I mean, when I had bed bugs here, luckily we had 18 bed bugs, and then they were done. I didn't have an infestation, but we got them in a movie theater. That's why I don't go to the cinema anymore. And I would sit. They were on the couch. I would wait till they came out at like 2:00 in the morning, and then I would take a piece of tape and I would grab them and smush them.
Right.
And I got them all. Lucky me.
Got them. Well, I mean, that's so rare.
It's rare. I know.
Listen, guys, anybody watching who's not familiar, if you get a few bedbug bites and you figure out that they're probably in your house, please don't make the mistake of going out and buying some stupid spray, or going on Amazon, bedbug spray, or some stupid crap, or taking all your clothes and washing them in hot water and blah, blah, blah. It's
Burn
not,
them.
it's not going to work. It's not going to work. And when the guys came in, eventually, the guys came into my place to do the job. They warned me ahead of time. They're like, you need 4 days where you can stay elsewhere. You got to find somewhere to stay, rent a hotel or something, because you can't be in the apartment for those days. And take all your clothes, wash the shit out of them, really, really hot, put everything in black plastic bags. When the guy came in and I was ready to leave, the guy said, I had one more black plastic bag full of clothes. And he said, this was in Brooklyn. I mean, 12 years ago or something. And I said, well, I've just got this one last bag I've got to grab, and then I'm out of here. And he goes, you know what? Just leave it there. Just open it. Leave it right there in the middle of the kitchen floor. Open it. Make sure it's nice and open. Because he's like, if anything's in there, it's gonna die. And it was a railroad apartment, wood long, big, beautiful apartments. You remember, it's gorgeous, right? Big high ceilings.
Brick everywhere.
Yeah, and wood everywhere. So that was a disaster with that. He goes down the other end. He starts at the other end, and I'm grabbing my keys and my wallet and my headphones, and what do I need? Because I can't come back for a few days. And he started at the other end. He put on his mask, and I left the apartment. And even just from him, 60 feet down, some of it got to me. So I left it. I ran downstairs. I went for the train, and I was getting irritated, like around my nose and my eyes already, like someone put pepper spray in my face or something. And he told me that when you come back, he said, just take all your plates and your cutlery, your silverware, and your cups. Give them a wipe. He said, just give them a wipe. And what he meant was, like, because you can't ingest that stuff. Right. And I swear, man, like 4 or 5 months later, a fly would come in the window, like a big blue bottle, those big annoying fuckers, right? Would come in the window on a hot day, whatever, land on my kitchen counter and just stop, just die. And months later, this would happen. They'd just stop. And I'd be like, oh, there he is, little bastard. I'll get him now. But he wouldn't move, and I could push him around with my finger. He would just land and just immediately go, ugh. This stuff was just, I don't know what they used.
Yeah.
But I was advised by my friend who owned, he's now a pretty famous actor, strangely. That's a story for a different time. I fucking acted with Joe Pesci and De Niro in The Irishman. But he told me at the time, he goes, you can't do it half-assed. Let me send my guys, because this has to be done hardcore, because these things are invincible. A lot of people make the mistake of leaving the house for 6 months thinking, oh, it'll starve them if they live off my blood.
No.
It won't work.
They can live well over a year without ingestion of blood.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Ew. Is everybody itchy?
Yeah, it gives you the heebie-jeebies, right? So I met, I was talking to a lady there in the Hard Rock Cafe there last week, and she was coming through Venice, and her and her partner were going around Europe a bit, and next stop was Paris. And I said, be careful of the bedbugs. She goes, yeah, absolutely. And she goes, well, what we're going to do is put all our luggage in the bath. You put your luggage, all your stuff, you put it in the bath while you're sleeping or whatever. And that way, listen, if you do get a few bites, they don't harm you. You're not going to catch anything from
No,
bedbug.
they transmit nothing.
Nothing.
They're just a nuisance.
You just have a couple of ugly bites on you for a few days. They might get itchy. But once you leave, as long as they're not on your clothes and they didn't get in your bags, you leave them behind. It's the hotel that has to deal with it then. And my sister used to manage a hotel in Dublin years ago, very flashy hotel. And what they would do when they got a complaint and they confirmed that there were bed bugs is they would strip the entire room. They wouldn't even get an exterminator in. They would take the carpets, the curtains, everything, and it was all disposed of. They redesigned the room. Like they refurnished the room from scratch.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, the proliferation of bed bugs in this modern era is because we got rid of DEET, right?
Probably.
It's because we banned bed bugs were eradicated for the better part of 70 years. And was it
But
DEET
then
or
farmers
DDT?
fucked it up, right? Because farmers were, yeah.
It's everybody, all the Monsanto fucking people, you know,
Right.
all of those people are like, you got to ban this and you got to ban that. But you know what? That and bed bugs. I'd rather have DEET in the world or whatever I think it was DEET.
Than bed bugs and mosquitoes all over the place. Des Fair is 20 British pounds. Thanks so much. Let's get the ball rolling with the super chats. That's a great idea. And there's another reason for that as well that we'll get onto next after we do this horrible EBGB subject. But thank you, Des. Thank you, AIPZ.
Yeah.
So the animosity between you and Nico is over. I'll talk about that later. There's nothing more to report than what I spoke about the last time. But we did shake hands, and I don't think either of us are in the mood for any more shit, especially when there's more serious things happening in the world. Nathaniel Hannon, 2 books, DDT, not DEET.
That's what I said. DDT or is it DEET? Yeah, I knew it was one of those. DEET, I think, is the stuff in mosquito repellent, right?
I don't know.
DEET sounds very Irish. DEET with the air in the background. DEET. Have you any DEET?
Well, DDT, didn't farmers start overusing it because it was solving all their problems, and they just went fucking hog wild, and then it was working its way into the mouths of customers then, and people were getting sick.
Isn't that great?
It's great.
Yeah, let me look that up. DDT ban.
That was back in the 50s or 60s. And they had already dealt with the mosquito issue around many parts of the world using DDT. They were flying over towns and spraying the shit and was dealing with the problem. But they never got to Africa, unfortunately. And the Africans have been paying the price ever since. And then the South Americans.
The insecticide DDT was the agent that helped get rid of bed bugs in the 1950s. It is not effective to use today because it has many risks. By the 1950s, many populations of bedbugs around the world became resistant to DDT.
Oh,
Wow.
Jesus. Told you. They're superhuman.
Let me see. The eradication of bedbugs. 1874, very effective. Oh, in 1874, a very effective insecticide called DDT was first synthesized. It immediately eradicated roaches, fleas, mosquitoes, and bedbugs. Wow.
The time you're saying it killed eagles. Yeah, I'm sure it killed
Oh.
anything in its wake. Yeah. Well,
What do you do about
Patricia's
that?
in the room.
Patricia Teague. Hello,
Bedbugs were
Patricia.
exaggerated per contacts I have in Paris.
Well,
Well, you know what? People who live in Paris aren't going to feel it as much because apparently hotels were hit the most, and you're not going to rent a hotel when you live in the town itself.
do you think like the Georges V or the Prince de Gaulle or the Le Maurice had bedbugs? Imagine.
It
You're paying
doesn't matter how fancy your hotel
I
is.
know it doesn't, but you're paying $1,000 a night, and holy shit, you have bedbugs there to probably comp out the whole hotel. You'd have to comp a bill if there's bedbugs. You'd have to. And it's not their
Yes.
fault, I understand. That's why
Yes.
they make those little stools kitties. You know, like when you get into a hotel, there's like a, a folding, it's like a stool for your luggage. They have
Yes.
that so you don't put your luggage on the bed.
On the bed or on the floor, on the carpet.
That's the reason for it. And people I've never thrown luggage on the bed.
I don't either, but I had to do it in the some of the videos when I'm advertising the Carl Frederick stuff.
Oh, well, you're doing it
because it looks better for the video. But bedbugs wouldn't sit in the Carl Frederick stuff anyway because it's cold, whatever it's made out of, bloody aluminum or whatever. It's not fabric. Bedbugs love fabric.
They like wood and fabric. They like wood.
Oh, they love wood, and they love the creases. They're in the creases of the fabric.
Crevices.
So when you go into a hotel and you're a bit paranoid, just pull the sheets off at the end of the bed and look in the corners under the creases of the mattress, because that's where they'll be. If they're around, that's where they'll be. I got to know these fuckers very well, unfortunately, way back when.
I had a very brief but an unpleasant encounter with them, and
you were lucky.
I was very, very lucky because Diane. Remember Chris and Diane from when I worked at Rio? They had to leave their apartment for a week because they had like 1 trillion bedbugs in their house.
Yeah, if you don't deal with the issue soon, you let it get out of control, it can be really, really bad. Where do you think I got them in the cinema? You haven't been back to a cinema ever since, right? You won't sit in a fucking cinema.
No.
Especially now that it's blowing up again.
And I went to see the world's shittiest film ever, Avatar, which was such a piece of crap.
Yeah, horrible.
We shot like on really expensive videotape. It just looked like shit. So that was Paul called it Dances with Wolves in Space.
That's exactly what it was. Same story, same narrative. Just blue people instead of Native Americans.
It was blue people.
It was just blue people.
And then The Way of Water came out, and that made $2 billion. The sequels, people went back. I don't know. I love sci-fi. I love sci-fi.
Love that movie.
It's so shit. It's so shit. Oh, the other day, talking of movies, we were talking about Ridley Scott and how he must have had like a director's stroke because he made a couple of great films and then he went in the toilet. He made a film that I don't know if you've seen it, but I love, and I forgot that he directed it. And I was reading Demi Moore's book, and then I went, oh, fuck, right. He directed G.I. Jane, which is a really good movie.
I never saw that movie.
It's really good. She's really good. And at this corruption at the highest level, she becomes like the first female Navy SEAL. They put her through the training, and Anne Bancroft is in it. I mean, and she plays this kind of southern senator who had planned just to take some woman from the deep south and put her in the program, and she was going to show that men are of course the only people that could handle that kind of rigorous training. But darling, she calls her darling, and she realizes at the end of the film that she's been used. It's a good film. It looks great. It's shot beautiful. I was like, fuck, Ridley Scott made a movie I really like, and it's G.I. Jane. I love the movie. You should
I
watch it.
have
It's
to see it.
terrific. Do
I
you like
have to
her?
see it. Of course.
Yeah.
I have to see it.
She's
Yeah.
gorgeous in it. She's got a completely shaved head, like
Yes, I know.
Sinead. So she just looks so beautiful in
Well,
it.
that was why Chris Rock got smacked in the face by Will Smith. That was the joke.
Oh.
G.I. Jane Part 2.
Oh,
Can't
right.
wait to see
G.I.
it.
Jane.
Everyone forgets the joke, but it was
Yeah.
really innocuous and like
Yeah.
it
Well,
wasn't
they
that
forgot it
bad.
also because the film tanked.
Right.
It was not a successful film, and it was expensive, and you know, it was kind of the end of her big career because she was getting paid $20 million a picture for like Striptease and a bunch of other films.
That's
And then
right.
she made this one. She like turned down something very prestigious, like it was Woody Allen or something very prestigious. She turned down to make G.I. Jane because she believed in it so much. I love it. It's great.
I just heard about the killing of the Flower Moon, or what's it called?
Oh yeah, the new Scorsese.
The new Scorsese movie, and I realized what the plot is. Oh my god, I had no idea that shit happened. Now, if I say it, it's going to be a spoiler. But I watch Philip DeFranco every day deliver the news in bite-sized form. It's a really good way of just getting through it real fast. And he said, "Listen, there's gonna be spoilers. So if you're interested in watching the film, don't watch." But I made the mistake of just I'm just gonna let it run. So now I know what the whole film is about. It's a true story anyway. I should have known the true story. But man, oh man, I had no idea about that shit in America. I had no idea. So men marrying into the families of Native Americans who inherit land that later was discovered there's oil under it, and men who want to get their hands on the oil, prospectors and so on, and their cruel intentions. Jesus, now I can't wait to see the film because I kind of wasn't that interested before.
Yeah, I didn't either because it's like I think
is
Scorsese kind of shot his load many movies ago. Kind of feel
Yeah.
like he's been out of, but you know.
Yeah.
And Leonardo DiCaprio doesn't thrill me as an actor. I just think he's always Leo. He's not a bad actor. He's just kind of Leo.
He was good in that Tarantino one.
That was highly
Once
enjoyable.
Upon a Time. Yeah.
Well, look what Tarantino does to actors. He just that guy. I have a little wish list. I know he's only making one more film. That's what he says. Tarantino said at the beginning of his career, "I'd like to make 10 films and retire." And he said this is his new film. It's coming out next year. It's called The Film Critic.
Okay.
Shot in LA I believe in the early 70s, and it's about some, overweight moron film critic who's got a lot of power and some vengeance and stuff. I'm sure there'll be a lot of blood and murder and, Tarantino-isms everywhere.
Sure.
But yeah, I have a wish list of actors that I wish he would tap that I think deserve their due, and once you get like John Travolta, look what he does to revitalize people's cinematic careers.
That was incredible because we all thought he had disappeared, and then he shows up overweight because he was the dancer. He was handsome and he was a dancer and he was light on his feet. Next thing, he's the dumpy, overweight hitman with an attitude.
Originally written for Michael Madsen too,
Oh, right. He would have been great in that.
Well, he didn't do it because he had signed on to be in Wyatt Earp, the Kevin Costner feature.
Oh, I see.
And Tarantino's like, fuck, well, I really originally wanted John Travolta. And then Harvey Weinstein said, he's looking at him and look who's talking 14. You can't have that guy. His career is dead. And he goes, maybe not yet.
Think of it.
I mean, and then that
iconic that role.
That's what
Vincent, right? Vincent
Vega.
Right?
That's what got him his airport. That
right.
He had money, sure, but his career, he had Michael, he had all those big films after, he had 10 giant blockbusters.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what bought him his airport and his 707 and all his planes. It was his act 2 that made him all that money. You
So
know?
who are these actors you want Tarantino to relaunch? You said you have a list in your head.
Oh, I mean, it goes back and forth. Goes back and
Hmm.
forth. Yeah,
Okay.
but I mean, there's a couple like Ed Harris. Like that, Ed Harris should have got an Oscar like 100 years ago. The
Right.
guy's so great,
Last
and
film I remember him in was The Truman Show or Pollock,
he
right?
directed that.
He
He
directed
directed
Pollock.
he directed Pollock. Yeah,
Okay.
that was a good one. I think the last time he was up for an Academy Award was that movie The Hours, which was vignettes of several different films, and
Oh,
he
yes,
played the
yes.
guy with AIDS, and Meryl Streep used to come up to see how he was doing during the AIDS crisis, and he has that scene where he's naked, and the guy Ed Harris has always been so lean and ripped,
Yeah.
and he's like sitting in a fetal position on the window of his apartment, and she comes in and she goes, "Is there anything I can do for you?" And he goes, "Not anymore." That's
Not
funny, man.
anymore. You got
Yeah,
to put that on mute, man.
I had it on mute. I don't know why that happened.
Somebody's
Um,
insisting on calling you, probably.
yeah. And he says, "Not anymore." And he just does this.
And he just falls over.
And he falls out the window. He kills
Oh,
himself.
oh shit.
He leans out the window and just plummets to the ground. It was like, what the fuck?
Wow.
Yeah. That crazy?
Yeah, Magic Mike 71, Ed Harrison, The Abyss, the revival scene at the end. It was so good, man. He was so great through that whole film. It's such a great film, I have to
Oh,
say.
yeah. I love that's what, my favorite James Cameron movie, The Abyss. I absolutely love it. I have it on DVD with a special director's cut, but it's pretty crap. It just looks so shitty. It's not really good looking. It's 480p,
So, Dirk, can we
Hold
talk
on one
about
second.
something a
Fat
little
Wet
bit?
Windbig says I have hair plugs. I don't have hair plugs, dude.
Come on. I'm the one with the hair plugs. All this beard.
You
It's
know what
all
it
hair
is?
plugs.
I color my hair, my friend. I'll tell you the truth. I'll be honest with you. My hair's been gray since I'm 16 years old.
You do a good job. It's very convincing.
Yeah, I color it with Just for Men because sometimes I let it go gray, sometimes I don't. So sometimes I fuck up. Like that's not bald, that's gray. It's like I have roots. My hairline's not going anywhere. Believe me, I'm not going bald. But thanks for asking.
So during over the weekend, you went into work.
Oh yeah,
What was it, Friday or Saturday? Which day
Saturday
was
and
it?
Sunday I work weekends. Yeah.
And you went into work
Mm-hmm.
and you were hit with a weird bombshell, correct?
Yeah, after Sunday, I used to work at a place for 20 some odd years. And COVID happened, and
I mean, do you want to talk about this or
oh,
not?
I don't mind.
Okay.
I don't mind at all.
I just think it's interesting as well, and it'll
So,
explain why we need the super chats tonight,
oh well,
guys.
that's funny. Anyway, I was fired. I was fired from a job I've worked at for 2 years. Didn't see it coming. Didn't see a reason for it. A brand new manager came and approached me after the shift, and he said, "Hey, can I talk to you for a minute?" And I said, "Sure." And he said, "We're going to go in a different direction." I said, "What does that mean?" He goes, "Well, without you." I went, "Am I being fired?" And I asked him why, and he came up with a litany of nonsense. And I said, "Well, none of that is true. I'm on time. I show up. The only time I ever took off was for, when my parents died."
Right.
And I actually worked both days. My parents
That's
did
right.
more.
You went into work
I went into work both days.
to
My
get your head,
my
to get your
parents died
mind off it.
within 18 months of each other. So I was like, dude, I'm like so company, man. I, don't give shit away. Like, what are you talking about? He's like, well, that's just a decision's been made. It's from the top and see ya. And I've
Jesus.
never been fired before. And he didn't have a real reason. And he was brand new. And I knew he was trying to set the world on fire and
He was trying
trying
to
to,
prove himself to the.
yeah, he was, I've got ideas and, I know that he's gunning for the main. I only work 2 days a week. I work at the weekends. I do a morning brunch thing at a very popular place in the city. And Yeah. So, well, yeah, it was just a weird thing to happen. It just came out of absolutely out of nowhere. And, it made me think like I have, other than like not going back to my old job, which I worked at for 24 years, which was shocking to me, but it wasn't like you were fired. It was like they took people back, but they didn't take everybody back. And I was included. But
Okay.
getting actually fired, like telling you fired, it reminded me of Up in the Air.
Yes.
It reminded me of all the films I've seen where people put stuff in their box and get escorted out.
They
Meanwhile,
didn't do that.
no, but what they did do was after this 3-minute conversation with this new manager guy who was kind of like, full of himself and blah, 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 whatever. I'm like super personable,
Gorilla,
etc.
it was over the weekend.
It was Sunday. It was Sunday night after 5:30 in the evening. I was,
Yeah.
he goes, after you're done cleaning everything, can you do me a favor? I want to talk to you for a second. Now,
After you're
meanwhile,
done cleaning.
yeah, yeah. So this is like, there's like, I work in a bar in a very popular brunch place. And what they basically do there is like, it's nonstop from like 9 o'clock in the morning till about 4 o'clock when we close. And I don't get out till 5:30, 6 o'clock because there's so much cleaning. I have no bar back. I have no service bartender. It's like, I have to do all the drinks for the restaurant. I have to do all the service. I have, 9 seats at the bar that have to be taken care of. And then there's a ton of cleanup and we're not open on Sunday night. So I got to close the whole place down, clean everything, blah, blah, blah. So I got all that stuff done. I have to lug ice up from that. Like, I do a really like crazy menial labor job. It's not, it's not some cushy, fancy place where I'm like lugging ice and heavy shit and stocking the crap out of bottles. And it's multiple flights of stairs. So, and I'm constantly cleaning the shelves and doing all stuff because I don't like to be idle. I'm a very hyper person. I like to get everything done. I'm not sitting around. So
Yeah.
he came up with a bunch of stuff. He said, well, it's a number of issues. It has to do with performance.
Oh,
And I
for
went,
fuck's sake. It's total bullshit.
performance? What do you mean by performance? And he came up with, well, it's about drink tickets and an ice scoop. And I said,
An
what are you
ice scoop?
saying? Like, I don't know. I don't even know. Like, apparently, like somebody wasn't using the ice scoop. I don't know if, like, because I remember getting an email once. You got to use the ice scoop because if you break something in the ice, you get glass, and then you have to take all the ice out of the ice bin and redo it
Right.
because it could wind up in somebody's drink. Of course,
Right.
common sense says use an ice scoop. Of course,
Instead of dunking a glass into the
correct.
ice.
And
Okay.
believe me, everybody is guilty of that 1 out of every 300 times.
Okay.
But for the most part, and especially since that, I said, I use the ice scoop. What are you talking about? He's like, well, it comes from the top. I'm new here, so I don't really know. I said,
He's just
well,
coming up with horse shit.
he's coming up with horse
You
shit.
know,
Yeah.
you know what my guess is. I mean, I don't know, but
Yeah.
it feels like this hot shot came in, wanted to prove himself as a manager.
Mm-hmm.
I went, I'm going to get all young hot girls. I'm going to go to a modeling agency down the street and fish for girls who want to make money at the weekend. Yeah.
Well, I trained a really cool trans woman over the last 2 weeks. She's a cis woman, but she lives her life as a man, and she's cool. And I trained her, and I didn't know they opened up another restaurant, so I thought maybe she was going up there. I didn't know what she was doing, and she's cool looking, and she's edgy, and she's hot, and I figured, and then I found out she's my replacement.
Oh shit! They had you train your replacement.
Yeah.
That's fucking messed up.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, I
Ruthless,
don't, I've,
man.
like I said, I've never been in a position like that before. So it does a real mind fuck on you.
Yes, yes.
I mean, I was probably in like a daze for about 4 or 5 hours. Like I got on the subway, didn't realize I missed my stop because I was so deep in my own head. And I was trying to figure out, well, what could I have done? Am I not aware of something that I did? Or
Well, Shane brings up a very good point. Is that actually legal? In Europe, we have a thing called unfair dismissals,
they have it here too.
but they don't. I've seen in New York my only experiences in New York, I've seen people being let go on very, very loose grounds. And I don't know what kind of rights the workers have. Shit, man, here in Europe, it's hard to fire someone. It's
That's
really
why
fucking hard to fire.
America's got unions. You can't fire union people.
That's why you can't fire people here. It's fully
Right.
this the entire continent is
Is
union.
unionized. Yeah.
Yeah, it's protecting workers from the man on the top who just for whatever whim just decides to fucking let you go and ruin your life. Well, in some cases, I mean, not for you, but a lot of people out there, they're men with 6 kids at home, and they're going paycheck to paycheck, and having that meeting that you had, as disturbing, distressful as it was for you and upsetting to some men, it's literally like, am I gonna kill myself now?
Right. But it really makes you so introspective about, it makes you really look inward and say, well, he said a lot of stuff which I knew was completely not true, because, everybody knows I could talk a dog off a meat truck, but that's part of my bartender training. People come in, you chat them up, you get to know them, you get their number in your phone, and then they call you and they say, are there 2 spots available at the bar? I've been doing this my whole life. You create relationships. You meet a lot of people that become lifelong friends. I've seen weddings. I've seen, divorces. I've seen best friends forever all happen. Fights galore. But, in New York, some states have a thing called at will employment. And that means that they could fire you for any reason or no reason whatsoever. And that is something that could happen. But there is also a thing called wrongful termination. That's harder to prove. And you have to say it's because I'm gay or I'm old. And he did say, I'm in my 50s. I think I've been pretty candid about that. And he said to one of my the other floor managers, when he didn't think I was listening, he goes, hey, how old is he anyway? And she goes, I don't know, old as shit, because she's 20 something. Right. And I looked around and I saw them looking at me, and I was like, what a dick, Yeah. So, I mean,
what, that was that weeks ago or something that you just noticed?
No, that was Saturday.
Oh, fuck. Well, that's it. That's it. He wants a young, fresh, and irresponsible. Good luck to him now with 23-year-olds. Oh my God, I forgot. I'm so sorry. It won't happen again. All of that happens. Fucking bullshit. Good luck to him now that he has to deal with people trying to learn how to be responsible. Because in my experience, until you're fucking 29, 30, you have no bloody clue what the hell you're doing at all.
They're just like, oh my God, I can't really do it today because I was on Insta. And
I was on Insta, and I totally forgot, and I went past the wrong stop. And then there was like a man, he was like staring at me, and I was like,
and I felt violated. I felt so violated. I was like, oh my God, he's in my purview. I'm just not, I just can't stand it. Some funny shit. But I when I started there was a bunch of people, and as of Sunday, only 3 of the people I started with out of like 30 remained. So that place turned, they chuck people left and right.
Wow.
But I always thought, well, I don't know why. A couple of people were young and like they had bad, work ethics, and some people had a drinking problem, and and I was thinking to myself, well, what's my problem? I don't drink. I'm always on time. I always show up. I always do my job.
You don't even look that old, dude.
No.
I look older than you, and you've got years on me.
I've got 8 years on you. Yeah. No, I know. I don't know. And that's the problem, because they don't have to say, and then I called my general manager just to, my direct boss. Because floor managers are not bosses. They're just fucking hench people that walk around to make sure that there's, drinks are being poured and napkins are straight and forks and knives are where they just, they want to be GMs. So I reached out to my GM, didn't get the return call. She never called me back. Crazy, right? Yeah. Shitty. So, so now anybody who's ever been fired, I know what that feels like, and I certainly get it. Wow.
And you were thinking about Up in the Air with George Clooney.
I just thought about that,
some of those people in those scenes are people being fired, or were people who were recently fired. They weren't actors. I saw
Is that right?
Yeah, not all of them are actors. I mean, Zach Galifianakis is in that, by the way. before he was anyone.
That's right.
He's
That's
one of the
right.
guys getting fired, and some of them are actors, but some of them are not actors at all. They're people who were recently fired. So it hits you when you see it. You know, they're not. There's a realness in their face. It's heartbreaking, and it's such a powerful movie. Actually, it was kind of overlooked, right?
I don't think so. I think it was a pretty big hit.
It was okay.
I think it. Well, let's take a look at. Let me go hit the Google machine.
Okay, so Ian Butler says name and shame the establishment. Do we want to do that?
Maybe next week.
Maybe next week. Dirk's not into fights and confrontations. That's more my style, Ian. I'm that dick who would do that, you know. But Dirk is like a.
Oh, I mean, there's no
Water
love
off a
lost,
duck's back.
you know. I mean,
Yeah.
I did it. I can, with a very clear conscience, say that I did them right the whole time I was there.
Oh,
you know?
I know you did. You'll go
Sure.
in early to get all the glasses extra clean and do all. I know the way you are. You're extra diligent with things like this. JJ 5656 $10. Thanks so much. By the way, all super chats this evening are going to Dirk. They always do in the eye
Stop it.
bashers. They always do in the eye bashers. But obviously for this as well.
So I'm getting
although
thrown
this
out
is
on the street.
No, he's okay, but it's just
all right.
it's just, you know, it's upsetting and it's fucking
It's
downright
a shitty
insulting.
thing to do. I can totally understand when, you know, like I always tell my friends, this is my analogy, not so much for people getting fired or whatever, but like for anybody out there who knows who Kiss are, right?
Thank
I
you,
grew up
Carlin.
I grew up a very big Kiss fan, and all the Kiss fans are like, Ace Frehley and Peter Criss were fired, and those two other guys in the band are fakes. And I'm a longtime Kiss fan, but you know what? I would have fired those bastards too. You know why? Because they were drunk, drugged out losers.
Sure.
And
when there are grounds, there are grounds.
there are grounds when somebody's not working out. It's not a nice thing to do to somebody, but people need to be let go if they just can't do the job.
Well, there were the Kleenex protests there in France like 10 years ago. I'll put a pin in that. Carolyn Martin, thank you,
Hi,
darling.
Carolyn
I love
Martin.
you.
Hello. Yeah, it is
This
the
is
world's
this is the world's way of telling you it's time to move to Italy. Thank you for saying that. I'll go back to this one. It's off topic, but it's very much appreciated. $10 from JJ 5656. Your channel made me fall in love with the watches. Yachtmaster and Explorer 2. Well, I've got the Explorer 2 on right now. There you go.
He does. He's wearing that a lot.
Blew me away. Bought my first Rolex last month because
What'd you
of
get?
those videos. Which one did you get? So
Tell us.
You like the Yachtmaster and the Explorer 2 video, so maybe it's one of those. You're pure class. That's very nice. Sláinte. You Irish, man, or Scottish? Sláinte. Thank you so much. The Kleenex laws they were trying to bring in a new law where you could do unfair dismissals because, you know, someone would get a job in France and then just ride it out, just sit back behind the fucking counter and not, you know, not do any work. So, I mean, that's on the worst end of it. And employers were getting sick of it and, you know, firing a lot of people. They wanted new laws. Well, France, as it always has historically has done, took to the streets to protest. And there was fucking mayhem because they called it the Kleenex laws. Like you could be thrown away like a Kleenex, you see? Like a tissue. Blow your nose and throw it away. The Kleenex laws. You can't hire us, use us for 6 months and just kick us to the curb. Ooh. Well, they fucking took to the streets. They went ape shit, and that stuff was shut down hard. You get a job in France, they have 2 years before they can even think about firing your ass. Now, that could be abused by the wrong kind of people. You okay? Oh, there's
fine. She's on my desk, so I moved the microphone around.
Hey, Laverne.
She's got her back to you guys.
She doesn't need the fame and the attention.
I got her this, you know, she's a 14-year-old lady. So she's got, you know, some things, but she's otherwise pretty good. She's got irritable bowel disease, so she's got constipation and a couple things. I found this miracle drop thing that's been working out great, and she's gained like 2 pounds. And I found out she's allergic to chicken. I think I told all the viewers that before. So anybody who's got a pet, always look into allergies. And it took 14 years of the greatest facility in maybe the world for veterinary science, and that's called the Animal Medical Center, and it's here in Manhattan, in New York, on 62nd Street. I mean, it is a place where you go to mortgage your soul.
Of course.
But they get the job done. And 3 months ago, and she's been there for a variety of reasons, but nobody ever said an allergy. But finally, they did this sonogram, and sonograms, when you have insurance for yourself, they're pretty great. But when it's for your cat, you're like, what?
What the hell?
But hey, they found out that she wasn't absorbing nutrients, and they said, "What do you feed her?" And they said, "Well, why don't we take the chicken out of her diet to see if it's chicken?" I took the chicken out of her diet. She stopped throwing up. And she started gaining weight, and it was amazing. You do this kind of like trial where I order this food. I'm going to do an advert, even though we're not sponsored by anybody. And hey, how come you don't have like tonight's episode is
It's sponsored by. I know.
Why don't you have that? You should. You have 100,000 subscribers.
I know. Sometimes I advertise products. I do it in a very covert manner, like. The Geneva visit is like me meeting all the guys and looking at all the watches. And then there's a slow-mo of me going through the hotel lobby with Carl Frederick products. And that's all they get, I do it in a more, I hate when, they stop a show to say, and that brings me to,
what? They're used to it. They're used to it now. So go ahead and do it. Hey, talk amongst yourself. She's directing me. She wants me to put something in her bowl. Okay, I'll be 1 minute.
I'll talk to the crowd because there's a lot of comments going in.
Yeah.
Not awful, guys. That's upsetting to me. Is my favorite person in the world, and it just hurts me to hear that kind of crap. Logan Hall, OC is a Kiss fanatic. Yeah, we've spoken about that. We can't figure out who's the bigger Kiss fanatic, but my money's on Dirk. JJ 5656. He's Asian from the US. Well, you said Slancha. You wrote Slancha with the correct spelling and everything. So you're clearly a citizen of the world. Good man. Yeah, Gary Smith. I'm still scratching. I know, just the idea of bedbugs is horrible. Yeah, JP, any news from Chloe? No. I mean, why would there be any news from Chloe? I don't see why, because she's in a couple of frames of that little short I did the other day. Big deal. I own that footage. She completely consented to the use of that footage. God damn it, that was a tough day of filming. I'll tell you, you want to walk around with a grumpy, sulking French girl with, an attitude, and then you have to make her look in some way enticing or nice or whatever. Fuck, that's the power of editing, guys. It's amazing things you can do in Final Cut Pro. No, I have not heard from her. I don't expect to ever hear from her again. What a waste. What another waste. I've been getting, some people are asking me about Michaela. She has her fans, and there are some people who aren't so crazy about Michaela. This is the extremely strikingly beautiful woman on the Monday night show, Michaela Chatillon. I did a live with her from Vienna and everything last 2 months ago, and she's all about fashion, decorum, and so on. And she has her fans, and there are other people who aren't so crazy about her. And some people write to me and like, why do you have her on your channel? So I'm like, you know what? She is pro, man. She shows up. She does the shows religiously every week. She reaches out to me a few days earlier to know what we're talking about. So she has all her research done. She's dependable. She's reliable. She's tough as rocks as well. Because people say bad things and they write to her going, oh, she's whatever he is, whatever shit things, just trying to sabotage that friendship. And it's water off a duck's back. She's fucking invincible. So, you know what? maybe some of you aren't big fans of hers, but you know what? Think of all the other people I've had from the gentler sex on the channel that in the end didn't pan out to anything. So it's hats off to Michaela. She's professional, and there's no weirdness between us or anything like that. There's no creepiness. There's no messing around or any. It's fantastic. I met her husband in Vienna. Fucking great guy. Very, very smart. Very opinionated and a bit curmudgeon-y, so I relate to him completely. So, nothing but good. And Chloe could have crushed the entire watch world. She could have been massive.
She could have been. She
could have been huge.
Yeah,
she was a big hit. She was a big hit, and she fucking just got grumpy and weird. And
well, when you're a sex worker, you go.
I didn't know she was a sex worker.
Not that there's anything wrong with it.
There's nothing wrong with that. I just didn't know because I'm stupid and naive sometimes. But she's also 20. She was 23 at the time, and that explains a lot. And that brings me back to what I was saying earlier. It's there's a certain thing about people under 28, 29 years old that are just fucking ridiculously unreliable and incomprehensible. And, you don't know. It's like persona farfalla, as they say in Italian. It's a persona farfalla. It's just like a butterfly that lands on your hand. You're like, oh, that's beautiful. And then they fly away. And you're like, okay, well, that was that,
Makes you happy for in awe for a minute. You go, the whole world stops and you see beauty. And then you go, I'm a loser.
That woman she could have her own channel. The whole idea was she wanted to do OnlyFans. That was the whole point. We're getting drunk all the time over at Corner Bar together. And we're sitting on the bridge. And I was like, listen, because she was like, I need to make money. Do you know a landlord who likes a pretty French girl? I'm like, please don't screw for your rent. Just get a real job. And I was like, listen, you're pretty liberated with your sexuality.
She is. And
I'm not offended by that. I am. I'm crazy. And I was like, okay, good. Well, I'll tell you what.
Je suis crazy.
Je suis crazy. And I was like, I'll tell you what. You can do a pronunciation thing for me because I'm getting hit by all sorts going, how can an Irishman tell us how to pronounce Vacheron Constantin? You're a fucking Irish.
You're a pretentious twat.
Right, yeah. And I was like, you're French, so you can put everyone in there. No one's going to second guess you. And you can wear your sexiest dress. So you'll be doing me a favor. And I'll return the favor by exposing you to my entire audience, which is mostly male. And you can start an OnlyFans. And that's your dream come true. You can do the thing you've been doing the whole time and make shitloads of money. That was the deal. She could be massive by now.
Right.
But anyway,
if I had a vagina, I would rule the world.
Of course, me too.
But
every time I hear that song, It's a Man's World, I'm like, nope, no, it's not. Fucking no.
Come on. Do you know how dumb we are? We're so dumb.
All that shit.
Have vagina will travel.
Yeah, all that shit we made, it was all for them, it's a man. It is a man's world. We built it, but it's a woman's world, and men built it for them. That's the way I look at it. It's a good song.
You ever hear Christina Aguilera oversing that song?
Oh God, she can oversing, man. Gary Brawley.
Oh, Gary
for us. Better cheer us up. So cheers, Dirk. Come on, everyone. Show some thanks to Dirk. Yeah, hit us with some super chats and I can PayPal Dirk.
Like
tonight.
Archie Luxury. PayPal me Patreon. I watched him in New York. Thank you, Gary. That was very sweet of you. He's in New York, and I want to ask you: are Timmy and him are on the outsies, right?
What do you mean the outsies? What's that?
They don't speak, right?
Barely. Did you see what happened? Tim was there.
Oh, he was.
And Archie passes him. And Archie goes, I'd shake your hand, but I might catch something. And good for Tim and OC. They just laughed. They laughed at it. And they took it as an Archieism, as a quip. Instead of getting butthurt about it, they went the higher ground with it, which I thought was excellent.
I mean, why would they get offended by that? It's just it's not even like that cunty.
No, but there has been a rift between them.
I know that there has,
So
and
when you
it's
meet,
stupid.
so imagine I said that to Nico and I met him on the street, and Nico did a lot of much more serious shit.
No, I know.
You know what I mean? But imagine I said he reached out his hand, I fucking just looked the other way. That's not the sign of a man. Men shake hands.
They do.
They do. You know, we're not bitches. Like terrible things can happen. Men kill each other and all do all sorts of stupid stuff. But you know what? There was that famous story, and a lot of people brought it to mind about the British and the French in the First World War, 1916 probably, or 1914, on Christmas Day, and they're all in the trenches. And on Christmas Day, they come out from the trenches and play soccer together. These are men who were previously killing each other, and afterwards were too. But for one day, they played soccer together. And it's a beautiful moment. And of course, Paul McCartney, our favorite guy in the world, wrote a beautiful song, Play the Pipes of Peace. And there's a beautiful video, Play the Pipes of Peace. Yeah. Where it shows it's kind of acted out. And Paul McCartney plays a French guy and a Brit. And they shake hands. He's playing both characters.
So long.
Yeah.
There's so many good ones to choose from. He's got a couple of shitty records, but he's got some unbelievable ones. I love Pipes of Peace.
Beautiful. You should see that video. It brings a tear to your eye.
Yeah.
You know, because the French guy is looking at a photo of his wife that he misses, and so is the British guy.
Of course they are. Yeah. You know, your side's always right. You don't know any better. You don't look at perspective. You're there to do something and do a job. You know, it's a terrible thing.
The Italians say tutto il mondo è paese, which means everywhere is a place. Yeah. Like, in other words, what they mean is we all take a shit in the morning. We all miss our wife. We all have to deal with paying the bills. We're not all that different, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's Travis.
Oh, hi,
Keep your chin up, Dirk.
I'm good.
Better opportunities await you in the near future.
You know, I'm grand. Just the first day and a half, I just was like, what the fuck? You know, you just can't wrap your head around something like that. It's, you know, if you do something or if you're a fuck up, yeah, you could be like, well, you know, you would know. But when you don't do anything like that, it's just really, it's a shitty feeling. Anyway, I looked up, thank you, Travis. That's very sweet of you. I looked up Up in the Air. It was made for $25 million and it made $168 million. So quite a successful financially, but not a blockbuster by any stretch of the imagination. You know,
just goes to show you can make a great film when there's great script, great actors, and interesting content. You don't need explosions.
No,
I watched that new, and no disrespect to present company in the audience. I watched that new fucking Tom Cruise, the Mission Impossible. Mother of God. It was just.
Meanwhile, the last one,
great.
I haven't seen it yet. I'm very excited to see it, even though you don't like it, because
there's nice shots of Venice. My house is in it. My house is in it. You can see my window.
Don't
you can see that window, right?
Don't dox yourself.
I'm not doxing because there's no way you'll find it unless you know what you're looking for. No, I would never say that if I thought it was obvious. You can fucking see that window that's right there next to me. So I watched it for the shots of Venice to see what they were doing. Because of course I saw them doing it.
I remember you had me on
all
the
the
phone.
Lights everywhere and the fucking drones flying around. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, we were watching them. They were over by the Doge's palace and it was all lit up like a Christmas tree.
Yeah, you see that in the movie, like it's some sort of party. It's so funny when you see these things being filmed. You're like, what on earth could that be in the story? But then you see the story and you're like, it all makes sense.
Now, meanwhile, Fallout was by far the best Mission Impossible. The last one that movie was absolute perfection. Did you like that one?
You know, the one, I don't know them all. The one I loved was they're in Rome and they jump over the wall. Rhys Myers is in it, the very handsome Irish fella. And they get over the wall. Oh, I'll tell you, I'm forgetting. The real reason I love it is because Philip Seymour Hoffman is in it.
Oh, that's 3.
That's number 3, right? Philip Seymour Hoffman is the baddie. And fuck me, is he a good baddie? He's one of the great American actors. What a loss. When we lost that guy, we lost so much.
Yeah, he was a heroin addict and he had kids. Fuck you. I was so angry at him for fucking shooting up. He had a separate apartment where he would go and shoot up heroin because he didn't want his kids to see it. Fuck. That makes me so angry. You know?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a J.J. Abrams movie, Mission Impossible 3.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Fat with Windbag Ben, $5. Umbria is the best place in Italy. The people are the salt of the earth. That's interesting. I don't spend any
I heard
time
they said
in
that about
Umbria.
you too, Fat Windbag Ben. Umbria, I watch a lot. I watch, this couple has a house in Umbria that I watch on YouTube. They like bought one of these cheapo houses and they're fixing it up, and it's very beautiful part of Italy. But what part of Italy isn't beautiful? It's all pretty beautiful.
Roar the Tiger, whatever happened to Dark? What do you mean dark girl? You mean the girl with the long black hair? She wanted too much money. And she has this manager guy who's super protective. So it never got off the ground. There's another example. It's like, here I am, like trying to give people free promotion and they don't want it. It's bizarre to me. You and Clarissa, you mean Carissa, Carissa spotted posing at a photo shoot at St. Mark's. What are you talking about? No. Carissa, no, she's fantastic. Carissa's fantastic. She's very busy. She's a very, very busy girl. But she's picking up pace again with her YouTube channel. God bless her. And she's making content again. I think every Friday, not this Friday gone because she was at the New York event, but before that for 2 weeks straight, she's getting back on it, which is great. She has tons of potential too. She's a very, very smart girl.
Le Carre says this. You're joking, right?
Dirk, you have a nice thing about
yeah, I've thought about it.
he's being facetious though. He has to be because he's been watching us for so long.
Well, all right, I'm just saying.
He has
for
to
anybody
know.
who doesn't know, yeah, I tried. I tried really hard. And then I watched them try really hard. And I remember going, oh no.
Dirk was in a heavy metal band for many years and still, even to recently,
we play in Europe every once in a while.
Yeah, plays to sold out shows. So, but I think Le Carre knows, and that's what he's doing.
I think it's funny though. I thought that was thank you. That gave me a good chuckle. Yeah, I've tried. I haven't tried cruise ships. Do you know those people sign like 6-month contracts and
8 months, 12 months, man?
Fuck that.
Yeah. First month fun, the rest.
I mean, unless you're just walking around banging randos like during the whole tenure, I mean, you have to be young and ready for that kind of shit. I can't imagine how fun that might be.
I think what happens is the staff. I know a girl. We didn't date, but we had a romantic interlude, and she wound up doing that. She was a singer herself, and from what I hear, they all bang one another. It's like the Mile High Club. It's like the pilots screw the fucking stewardesses and all of that kind of stuff.
And
right?
The pilots screw the stewardesses, and the stewardess screw the baggage collectors, and the baggage collectors kill the taxi drivers, and that is the news.
Beautiful. It's a song. I think that's where you start, right? That's where you start. You wind up on the cruise. You get to know the rest of the band and the guys who work in the restaurant where you're playing, and you've got nowhere to go. There's just water around you for 8 months. You may as well, all have fun in the lower decks. That's what I'd do.
I just want to rewrite that whole song. Perfect sex. We all have cruise ship sex. Expensed in ballast and stacks. Promenade decks and craps.
Promenade decks. You've got the rhymes already. Go. What's happening in your mind right now?
Can't you see we all have cruise ship sex?
I swear to God, your brain runs at 500 miles an hour. Mine runs at about 5 miles an hour.
Does everybody know that song? It's from one of the greatest albums ever fucking made. Amused to Death. by Roger Waters. Regardless of what you think of him, polarizing or not, that album, I think it came out, what, 94?
No, 90. No, 92 or 93, because I went to Italy in 92 and that album came out not long after, I believe. I would say it's 92, 93.
92, you're right. The album he had previous to that, I disliked greatly. That was Radio Chaos. And it was synthy, and I just didn't feel like him at all. And then this was Jeff Beck on guitar and unbelievable songs, you know.
Someone just sent me a PayPal for you. 10 euros.
Oh,
from James Hess. Thank you.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you. I'll forward that straight on to you.
Thank you.
Anyway,
I'm going to use it to buy rope.
No, but don't even joke about that shit, man.
Yeah, I don't have that in me.
There's greater things.
Oh yeah.
Hey, we can do eye brushes of the weekend now.
Hey, I told everybody, I have not had weekends free for 2 years because I only work on the weekends. I'm still talking about like weddings and things. I couldn't go. You know, the only time I took off, like I said, was for the funerals of my parents. You know, and now I'm like, hey, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to brunch.
Bob Sacamano, what's my PayPal? Yeah. You know what? I don't want to put your PayPal out there in the public. Okay, so send this to me and I'll forward it. It's real easy, man. The Timeless Watch Channel at gmail.com. I hope I spelled that right because it's long. The Timeless. Some people make the mistake of just saying Timeless Watch Channel. It's the old name of the channel, the Timeless Watch Channel at gmail.com.
When you stuck to watches, when you just stuck to watches.
You know, for the longest time I didn't, and that's why I changed the name in the end. I was like, I'm kind of not talking about watches anymore. So
it's a lifestyle brand. You're a lifestyle channel.
I don't know. I talk about science and physics and all of that shit. I don't know what the channel is. Honestly, I don't know.
It's an Asheen. It's the world of Asheen. Like Kyrie says, wedding singer. You know, I have a lot of friends who do wedding.
It pays well.
Pays great. They make a lot, and you get to learn you get to sing Hall and Oates and you know, all these other pop ditties from everybody. It's all about the 80s. Right. There was a guy that started out as a metal singer in my area that did some stuff and disappeared from the face of this earth. And he was a really, really good singer. As a matter of fact, like when you're local, you're like, who's your competition? You know? And this guy was like my competition. And then he just vaporized, didn't make records, didn't do anything. And then all of a sudden I saw him on a YouTube channel, and it turns out been a wedding singer for the last 25 years. Okay. And you know what? The guy's voice is fucking killer. You know why? He was singing 6 nights a week. That's why.
Yeah.
So I have tons and tons of respect for musicians. I've never been that guy. I've always been the guy with the day job. I've like Asheen. When did you ever have a job? You know what I mean?
I have a list of jobs. I did funny
jobs. Yes, but you know what I mean? Like the guys in his band.
I can't work for the man.
You can't work for the man, and
I can't do it.
I've always been the idiot that never figured out how to not work for the man, and like, you know, now I kind of don't ever want to do it again. But like I've always like, fucking this guy moves to Italy, starts a watch empire, blah blah blah. You know, because he's like, fuck the man. I'm not gonna have anything to do with it. It's nothing worse than when somebody else has final say in your destiny. And you know what? It's bad. And I guess most of us do. We have bosses, and they can make decisions for you. So yes, Oisin O'Malley is now a lifestyle brand. It's a thing. It's not about watches. So everybody says stick to watches. Sometimes you hardly talk about watches at all. You know, they're there though. You're wearing
nobody
one.
Complained. Yeah, nobody complained about the Lisbon video. And I don't speak. There are watches in it, some stunning watches, and I say what they are just on the screen, just in a little sidebar on the screen. But I don't ever discuss watches in that video. No one complained. The only guys who say stick to watches are the guys who hear your opinion about something, especially politics, and they get pissed off because you have a big fucking microphone in front of you and they don't. And they're like, Stupid lunches. It's just an ignorant statement. That's all. But honestly, I made that
Mine's a
video.
two-hander.
Yours a two. It's that long. Mine's a one-hander, but it's nice. It's got girth. It's thicker.
Mine's
It's
a
all about
two-hander.
the thickness, man. The length
I
doesn't
know.
matter. It's the thickness and
Girth.
how you use it. The girth.
There was a porn star named Girth Brooks.
Girth.
There's nothing funnier than porn like names for movies or like actors and actresses. Like I'll never forget. I was like in a store once and they had like a porn section and I'm just looking at the titles and one of them was Regarding Heine.
Regarding Heidi. Eddie, I had no idea Romeo and Juliet was in Verona until I saw.
Oh.
You know, Romeo and Juliet's castle is in Montecchio.
Yeah.
But Casa di Giulietta, Juliet's house, is in Verona. Yeah, that's where I go to see. That was just before COVID broke out.
We were
and
there.
Everyone was feeling her boobies because that was good luck. Yeah.
We went, me, his brother, Dana, and the kids. We went to was it Montevecchio? What's the name of that town? Montecchio. We were there at their actual castle and we had lunch. And it was crazy.
Well, Evan will always pick the best spot. Evan knows Italy like really well. Like he hasn't been here in 1,000 years. I mean, besides that little quick trip, you know, but his Italian will just click in. The guy is like, it's amazing. You know? He probably speaks better Italian than I do, even after all these years. And I'm living here.
Yeah. Well, you sound Venetian now.
I speak a lot of dialect.
Yeah. I'm snickering because Carol and Martin.
Funny books.
Gentlemen, this is a classy show. No genitalia jokes.
Genitalia.
I had a great name for a porn movie that I don't believe has ever been produced, and it's called Chitty Chitty Gangbang.
Jesus. Why has no one come up with that
Why
yet?
has nobody done that yet? Chitty Chitty Gangbang, we love you. High chitty, low chitty, anywhere we go, chitty. Do you remember that movie when you were a kid?
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, of course.
Fucking what's his face plays the pedophile.
You only changed one word in the title. That's genius, dude.
There you go.
I just realized you only replaced one word and the whole thing changed. Wow. Yeah, I remember that. And I remember, you know, what was the Volkswagen car that had a mind of its own?
That that was
Herbie.
No, that's Herbie the Love Bug. Yeah.
When I was a kid, I loved those films. They were so fun. The car had a mind. If it was these days now, it would be CGI'd with a mouth and eyes or something.
I know.
At the time, it was just a car that, you know, took off whenever it wanted to, and it kind of had a personality and a mind of its own. And if I saw it today, I'd probably just throw up. But you know, when you're a kid, you've got that suspended disbelief. Your suspended disbelief when you're a kid is so strong. You know, you play with two toothbrushes and they're people. You know,
yeah.
Kids have that. You know, it's just amazing. They don't need you to show them that much. You know.
No, they don't. And that's like when you get older, you need to be. Most people, I think, when you watch a show, they have to spoon feed you the plot. And like, have you ever had to? Yeah, it's Roald Dahl, right?
Roald Dahl.
$4.99. So, do you remember who played the?
Thank you, Nathaniel.
Here's a great line. You love movie lines. Ready? Here's one for you.
Okay.
Ice cream, lollipops.
Yes.
And they're all free today.
Yeah, what is that?
That's Chitty Chitty Gangbang. And do you know who uttered that?
No.
Benny Hill.
Oh, it was Benny Hill.
Benny Hill.
He never spoke in his own show. I like Benny Hill when I was a kid too. It was all like in fast forward motion.
I love Benny Hill coming up. Thames. Benny
feel
Hill,
like
which is
the continuation of that was Rowan Atkinson. You know, when he played
Mr. Bean.
Mr. Bean,
Sure.
because you could play that anywhere. He never spoke. It was all it was mime of sorts, right? He would act things out with his facial expressions and so on,
Sure. Yeah.
and
Well,
barely say anything. So people in India love that, and people in all sorts of different countries, they don't need to translate it because you can see what he means. You know, it's
that's why they
relatable.
thought talkies would never work, because
Talkies.
Valentino and all the greats, Roman Navarro, all the greats, and they didn't need. They spoke as Gloria Swanson says so succinctly in Sunset Boulevard, which is my favorite film of all time. She says, "We didn't need to speak." And then she just looks at the camera. Their eyes did all the talking. They didn't.
Right.
Silent films. They were able to. They were the act. It was a different. The biggest actors from the silent film, most of them, 90%, did not translate to the talkies. You'd find out that like one of the guys had a really high voice, or they'd be unpleasant speakers. They wouldn't have great tone or diction,
Yeah.
and then just some people that couldn't act anymore because they'd be doing this.
Yeah. The eyes. Well,
It's
the
all about the
eyes.
eyes.
Yeah, it's all about the eyes. I'll. You know what? I just dissed the new Mission Impossible movie. I'll give it. I'll hand it to Chris McQuarrie, right? Is the director. He understands that because the use of eyes in the movie is really good. Like Vanessa Kirby, who I've fucking huge crush on.
She's in
Wow.
this, right?
Yeah, and the eyes. And what's the main female lead?
Rebecca Ferguson.
No. She's kind of on the side, actually, in this film. There's another female lead. She's a British actress. She was in a Woody Allen film. She was in Cassandra's Dream, the Woody Allen film. Beautiful. And she's
Haley Atwell.
Haley Atwell. The use of eyes is very, very powerful. Like they know how to direct eyes, and eyes, yeah, they speak. Eyes speak.
Eyes are the windows of the soul.
Yeah, I mean,
do you ever meet somebody with dead eyes?
Dead eyes?
I mean,
anybody who's been in prison for more than 3 or 4 years has dead eyes.
Well, there's
anybody who's been on the inside.
Dead eyes via trauma, sure, but there are people that, like, I'll never forget this. This is one of maybe the cuntiest things an actor has ever said about another supposed actor. And it was on that Andy Cohen who does that. He's a whatever. He's got the Real Housewives empire, but he gets all these great celebrities to sit down on this show called Watch What Happens Live. And it's cunty because he's like a gay dude that loves to just get the juicy dish. So he's got Patty Lupone sitting on the couch.
Okay.
And, Patty does not mince words at all. She's a sailor with a very big potty mouth, but she also has the talent of 1,000 people behind her. Yes. He said, "Did you ever see the movie with Madonna, the Evita movie?" And she starts chuckling. She goes, "She's a movie killer. She's got dead eyes."
Wow. Ouch. It's all in the eyes.
And by the way, there's no talking in that movie. It's sung through. The libretto is sung through. She doesn't have to do anything but react. There's no talking. So she wouldn't have made it as a silent film actress either. Carolyn Martin says, "Let's all upvote. Would you please upvote for the lads? And don't forget to like and subscribe."
For the love of God.
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 Would you bloody upvote?
Bloody upvote. And would you hit the bell for notifications? Because then you'll know when we have a brand new video ready for you. Okay, gorgeous. It's only gorgeous. Something Oisin never does. Upvote, will you? We'll get you a pack of Tato's crisps, smoky bacon or cheese and onion.
Tato.
If you don't know Tato, you're missing out, kids. They're the best crisp in the world. They are.
I'll tell you one thing I miss after coming back from Ireland. I'm gumming for tea. I started getting, because my mom was making me coffees in the morning.
Sure.
And at first I'm like, oh, gorgeous. Yeah, great. And then would you like a cup of tea? Because she has 40 cups of tea a day, it's
My
like
parents, dude.
it's stringing, your whole existence is stringing between cups of tea, and and just the tea just started, it was heroin, man. I loved it.
Is she a
Until
Barry's girl
eventually,
or a Lions girl?
now I'm letting her down because she'll take it out of the box and put it into her little nice
Her
cute
tin.
container, her little tin.
You
Yeah.
keep it in the tea, goes.
Yeah,
in
you
the
put the
tin,
bags in
baby.
the tin, so I don't know. But man,
Was it a
was
straight
so
bag
good.
or kind of triangular bag?
I can't.
Was
Was
it more like a sachet?
No, I think it was more like rectangular bags.
Don't move, right? I'll be right back.
Okay.
Don't move.
Yeah. So the tea was eventually, it wasn't. I didn't drink any more coffee. It was just cups of tea. Oh my god, they're so good. And then every now and then, when it's like proper tea time, the pot of tea. It's like a bunch of bags in the pot, and then the pot stews, and that's even better. Oh man. And since I got back, I'm kind of missing the tea experience. Kind of, the Italians don't understand that at all. Tea to them is like iced tea during the summer. They don't drink a whole lot of tea, certainly not in pots. So I miss that already. Okay. You got one?
I've got two.
Oh, look at this. Donald Cattle says Dubs don't drink Barry's. What do Dubs drink?
I am. This is Barry's. Okay. Was it this one?
Okay, I'll full screen you.
Oh, okay, full screen. Was it this, or hold on? Was it this or that?
Oh God,
this is like a little pyramid.
Oh, it might be the one on in your left hand.
The pyramid.
Yeah, it might be.
That's
that one.
Lions, baby. Lions gold. I am a Lions man. I have Barry's because I sometimes you can't get Lions.
Right.
Oh God, there's nothing better. If I'm having a sandwich, I have to have a gorgeous cup of tea with it, because that's what you do.
Now, do you put a little milk in there?
I put a little bit of milk and no sugar, just a little, just a spot. That's the
real
Irish way. Yeah. That's the right way to do it. I do, and that's the only milk I ever put in anything, because I don't use milk. I drink my coffee black, as you know. I'm a coffee junkie, but tea, there's a totally thing. And once you get back on the tea thing, you're fucked.
Oh my God,
you need it.
You need it.
This is Barry's. I've got 150 of these. Somebody I think gave me. He's like, "Oh, you're Irish. You'd love Barry's, right?" I'm like, "Oh God, I'm a Lions man." It's like, it smells like, I don't know what cocaine's like, but like I'm going to make a big pot, and you make a pot.
You make a pot. That's what I was telling everybody.
Make a pot. Yeah.
The pot has to be. So I went on one of my final days there. My sister met me. I was over in Phoenix Park because I wanted to tell the audience. You guys will see it in the video, in the Ireland video, about Phoenix Park. And of course, my sister's not far from there, so she picked me up, and we went for a little lunch right there in a beautiful little place right in the middle of the park. It was great. And when we got tea, and when the way it works in Ireland, you ask for a tea and you're by yourself, you get a cup with the tea bag in it. But if there are two or more people, they bring you the pot.
Sure.
Totally different thing. And I was just drinking it going, oh my God, this is so good. What the hell? And she looks at me and she goes, that's because it's a pot in a pot. It's made in a pot. I'm like, oh, that's what it is. I'm like, I've lost all my Irish skills.
Yeah, it's just absolutely beautiful. Now,
PG Tips as well. I am saying
PG Tips is British, my friends. That's English tea. I know that a lot of Irish do drink the PG Tips, and it's not a bad tea. I'll have a Twinings Irish breakfast. I will if it's there. But it's not, you're not going to see a lot of PG Tips drinkers in Ireland, I don't think. And especially in the West, you actually won't even find a lot of Barry's there, because everyone drinks Lions.
Oh,
I don't know. Wow. Tea is a thing. It's funny because, I didn't see coffee until I was about 16, 17 years old, except me granny, me nana, she was from Cork. She's from Mill Street in Cork. And she would have the Maxwell House. She didn't drink tea. She drank this canister of Maxwell House instant crystals, and she'd ask us to make her a cup of it, and it was just the most vile shit. And that's what you got. You wanted a coffee in Ireland in the like late 60s, 70s. Coffee was that. There was no. What are you going to go to a barista?
So yeah, it took the Irish a long time to figure out coffee. Now listen, so they have Starbucks in Dublin.
Yeah,
We don't have Starbucks in Italy. Why on earth would the Italians have Starbucks, right? Just
it
give
would
me a
be a
break.
travesty of the
This
highest
is
order.
ridiculous, right? There's one in Milan, but it's like uber fancy. So they have Starbucks, and I miss, after all those years in New York and the fucking freezing cold, walking in and getting their brew, their daily brew, whatever. It's usually Pike Place and something else, Christmas brew around December, etc., etc., right? And they have it there behind the counter, but it's never brewed because the Dubliners, they don't order it. So I'd walk in it happened 12,000 times while I was there. I was like, Pike Place, I'll take a medium Pike Place. And they're like, what? Oh, this thing. Oh, we have to brew it. Can you give us 10 minutes? I'm like, does no one order this? They're like, no, it's all lattes and Americanos and,
So nobody wants an American cup of coffee.
Nobody wants an American cup of coffee.
I'm with them because, God, if I had a cup of American coffee right now, I mean, I'll drink it on a plane if I'm hungover. But God,
I like it.
You guys see, it's seeped into you, the culture, American culture that
First of all, I like a big cup of coffee that'll just pet me like a cat for an hour or two. I don't need to shoot my espresso like the Italians do.
Yeah, I like to shoot like 4 of them.
Shoot 4. And also, there's a lot of caffeine in the brew.
Yes, well, sure. There's way more caffeine in that than there is in espresso.
There is. You're consuming a lot more caffeine.
Yeah. Interesting. I mean, I've been in actually Starbucks. I've gone in there and gotten an espresso, but then when it's $6 for a double espresso, it just makes you feel like you've been violated.
I know there's a video going around TikTok right now of an Italian, probably in America. I don't know where she is, but she's in some coffee place or Starbucks or something. And she's like, ma come? Like, un caffè. Ma quanto costa? How much is it? Like, they're like, it's
how do you say that in Veneto? How do you say that? Not quanto costa? What do you say?
Quanto costa? It's Italian. That's not Veneto.
Yeah. But you did it with that accent, though. It was weird.
Well, I have that accent, but no, actually, we would say quanto zè.
Quanto zè? Quanto zè?
And
Asborami.
Asborami. That's disgusting.
You don't want to know what that means.
But she's freaking out. She's like, how can they ask? Hold on, the latte is how much? And what? But what's a cafe? What's a cafe? Because it's so important for Italians to exist. Like, don't speak. If you have an Italian girlfriend, do not speak to her before she has coffee. Do not even engage with her in any way before coffee is made. Then you can speak to her. Coffee is so integral in Italian culture, but it's espresso. So it's a simple espresso is the cheapest thing in the world in Italy because it's considered like a medical need for the entire population. She's like, how can it be $4 for a cafe? Like that's an outrage, But to a lot of cultures, it's a luxury. And it's kind of fancy. In Dublin now, coffee and, Starbucks coffee is somewhat of a fancy thing still,
Is it?
Kind of. I mean, on the edge of that, yeah. Like getting a latte or a cappuccino. It's like, ooh la la,
I bet
getting a cappuccino the fucking right of birthright.
One of the best of those giant coffees is got to be Café Henri. I bet you missed that place.
Café Henri. Oh, in Long Island City. I couldn't drink it because they give you
They give you a giant bowl.
Yeah, it's a bowl. I can't drink. I'm sorry. I'm like,
you don't. I thought you wanted a big warm cozy to keep you.
No. Pour it into a proper. I can't drink it out of a bowl where it might spill over my face.
Does it not have a handle on it?
Yeah, I know, but it's a tiny little handle with a huge thing. Like there's no The fulcrum
I
is
don't get that. I get the
somewhere over this side, and you're like, oh,
it's
fuck.
rainbow striped, yeah, with a big thick thing of foam on it.
No.
It's amazing.
And I mean, glasses have to make sense to me. It's, when I get a gin and tonic and they're going to put it in that big, stupid wine glass, I'm like, please don't do that. Just stick it in a low tumbler.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have a dress on, dude. You know,
right.
Give me my alcohol and something I can fucking hold in my fist while I contemplate all the mistakes I've made in my life. I don't need that shit, you know.
Yeah, so I can't for the life of me. I have an espresso machine at home, and I make my own pods now. I just use Ely Intenso, or I'll buy some, of the better quality ones. But on the odd occasion where I'm in a place like any place that makes coffee, and they want to charge me $4 to $6 for a coffee, I just feel like I have been anally probed by space aliens. It's just a horrible.
Yeah, that's wrong.
It's like
wrong.
it's just so much money. But meanwhile, how much is it for a double espresso in Italy? Is €1. It's €1.
Yeah, an espresso. I don't know about a double.
Well, Cafe Doppio. I always order Cafe Doppio, per favore, always, and it's always €1. You put the euro coin on, and that's it. You walk out the door, and then you shoot it. And then the people were getting something a little bit larger. But then again, in the out of the way places too, an Aperol Spritz is €3 to €4. And here it's $20.
An Aperol Spritz is $20.
That night, $18 to $20.
Never in my life would I ever pay that money for an Aperol Spritz. Guy Hayden, one of the most expensive coffees I've ever had was in Dublin at Bewley's. I was at Bewley's. I went there. I filmed there a little because, of course, it's a classic. It's where James Joyce used to hang out and stuff,
Sure. And he hung out in Trieste too.
He did.
And you went to that cafe as well, right?
I went to, considerably better, I would say. But Bewley's is classic, I can't remember what I paid for the coffee, but
I know that the cut in the one in Italy, it was €1. And it's Ely.
Sure.
Because Ely is based in Trieste. It's where the factory is, and they want $350 for the tour. Like, I'll just have a coffee, thanks. I'm gonna pay €350 to tour a coffee factory. It doesn't even include lunch. I mean, if at least you go to Guinness, they give you a Guinness, right? Don't you get
at the end? I didn't go. I filmed it from the outside. I didn't go in.
You didn't go in?
I didn't. Perhaps I was remiss, but
apparently it's the best Guinness you'll ever taste in your life.
Well, it should be. The best Guinness is either in the West, paradoxically.
Yeah.
Right? Or
Gravediggers.
Or at the airport.
Oh. Best Heineken I've ever had was in Schiphol.
So you know why it's great in the airport, right?
No.
So for a lot of tourists coming in, especially Americans looking for their heritage, my grandfather is from Ballyconneely, go Nocty, or whatever, invented towns. Like, no, it doesn't exist, man. They fly in, and they've never really had Guinness before. They're coming from all over America, like looking for their heritage. And the first Guinness they have is in the airport. And if they don't like it in the airport, they won't have it for the rest of their 2-week trip around Ireland. So Guinness send a dude every week to make sure all the Guinness is amazing in the airport, cleaning out the tubes every night. They have to put acid through those tubes. You can't just wash them out like with water. Guinness is like fungus, it's like cheese or something. So you have to clean those tubes out properly for the Guinness. It's alive and it's moving. And they make sure that the Guinness is impeccable at the airport, just in case, because a lot of people's they arrive and they meet their friends and they're all ready to go on a big trip around Ireland. And while they're there, they have a Guinness. And if it disappoints, boom, business is gone. By the way, I was out in the Dublin Mountains in the Wicklow Mountains, really, with my ma and my
Johnny
sister.
Fox's?
No, we didn't go to Johnny Fox's. That's Dublin Mountains. But we were looking for spots to film, and we stopped by the Guinness, where the Guinness family live. Oh my God. It'll be in the video when you see. I don't want to give too much away about the video, but you'll see where the Guinness, where their land. It reminds me of that bit in X. Did you see Deus Ex Machina, the film about robots? It's kind of a strange film.
I always wanted to watch that, and they're always pimping it, and I never have. Is it great?
It's interesting. I don't know if it's a great film, but it's worth watching. And the super gazillionaire Elon Musk type who lives out in the middle of nowhere, and he's what's Brendan Gleeson's son?
Domhnall Gleeson.
What? Domhnall
Gleeson.
He's in it, and he has to go out there and meet this guy, and they're in a helicopter, and he's like, well, how long till we get to his island? And the pilot says, we've been flying over it for the past hour. Like he owns all the entire land. So it was definitely that feeling, the Guinness, the Guinness family. Like people drive through it, people stop, they take photos. They have no idea they're on Guinness territory. Like it's fucking nuts. And they have pretty much their own lake. It's wild. Yeah.
They're the richest people in all of Ireland. They should be, right?
They should be, yeah.
Followed by Enya.
Right. Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Let's see who the richest people in Ireland. Richest.
Enya has to be the richest, one of the richest women in Ireland, yeah, because her music sold absolutely everywhere. It's like Mr. Bean. It works in every situation. You don't really need to know what the hell she's talking about in the lyrics.
No.
We don't know anyway.
Sail away, sail away, sail away. What's Orinoco Flow?
That's about as articulate as she ever was. All her other stuff is like half in Irish and stuff like. It's just about the atmosphere.
I loved that Clannad song. Fuck, that was amazing.
Which one?
The one with Bono. What was that called?
Oh, that's In a Lifetime.
That was amazing.
Yeah, amazing stuff.
When he was not that he's not now, but he's a much older bloke, but what a passionate singer he was then. There was so much,
he's a fucking firecracker.
So much harshness. Okay, here we go with the list.
Can you zoom in?
I can, and I'm going to do that right now.
There we go.
Okay.
Beautiful.
John Graken, John Collison, Patrick Collison. Oh,
look at all these billionaires in Ireland.
Lone Star Funds. Now, what the fuck is that? I don't see the Campbell's Soup Company. I always forget that about those people. Fuck me.
Campbell's Soup?
Yeah, Campbell's Soup. I always forget that it's that these guys were American-born dudes. That Campbell's Soup is an Irish company. I always fucking forget that. I always forget it because it's just so a part of Americana. Campbell's Soup. Yeah. What is this? What is this Lone Star Funds? Let's see what this is. Okay. Okay. This is some kind of shitty, some kind of horrible, super fun bullshit. That's not fun. Stripe. What's Stripe? Stripe is financial services. Fucking look at the Irish now. Jesus Christ.
Oh, so much. They're so rich. It's crazy. Look up the richest women though in Ireland, if there's a list.
One moment, please, for you there. Hold on. Search Wikipedia for the richest women.
This guy Fuente in the Opus X, he's clearly a cigar smoker. Best Guinness is the one in front of me. That reminds me of funny. That reminds me of the phrase the best camera is the one you have on you.
Right, which is usually your phone. Let's see. Richest women. Oh, here's the list. In one moment, please, for an operator that can assist you.
Steinei says, and your net worth is 150 million.
Oh, is that all?
That's a little lower than I thought it would be.
I would have thought it was like 500 million. Okay, so here. Oh, Doe, can you not?
Oh, it's a paywall?
Fuck me.
Can you not get past it? No. It's just a paywall.
But I've not been reading the Times. Can I not get in there? Continue reading.
Why do the Times and the New York Times and any Times
I bought the
have
Times
fucking
finally.
paywalls? Oh,
I
you bought the New
finally did.
York?
I did because
Yeah.
I'm tired of everybody sending me
Links that you can't read. Yes.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Geez, I can't even get this list. Richest women in Ireland. Come on now.
There has to be a list. Ireland's richest women.
Who are the 10 richest?
The Independent.
Yeah, right. Did you find it?
No, I haven't looked. I'm lazy. I'm sitting here smoking.
Oh, okay. I'm just hitting paywalls here.
Yeah, that's awful.
Oh,
They're just business women. Here we are thinking Enya, but like there's probably business women who own these fucking huge fucking companies worth $1 billion. It's all in their heads, man.
Look at it. It's £1 for 6 months. The newspaper business is dead.
Well, yeah. They're struggling to keep their noses above water. Look at this. MTV Mike. I met Diana Mitford Mosley as a kid in Paris. This is what this chap said. My granddad was friends with Mosley, and they invited us to their chateau. I believe she left Guinness for Mosley. Look at that.
Wow.
Fucking hell. Be reminded that the audience watching are very interesting guys, every last one, and gals, every last one of them.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you have to understand that the Celtic Tiger 2, which is what Ireland is now going through, is like the most robust economy they've had. I mean, the 90s was and the early 90s was monstrous for Ireland, and then it died. The Celtic Tiger was shot dead, as they said. Now it's back in the biggest way ever, tenfold. So all the tech companies are there. It's the richest economy, the most robust economy in all of Europe. Where are the knackers?
Yeah, they're gone.
He's working for IBM now.
They're over on Connolly Street. They come up to me with the camera, you know. And meanwhile, I'm wearing a fucking gold watch, you know.
Yeah.
They're not even looking at that.
Well, so are they.
Yeah. They come over to me and they're like, "What are you doing on the camera? What are you filming?
What do you film?
Film.
Do you know anyone who says film?
Everyone in my family, my mother says film.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not that film.
Film, yeah.
But that's a phenomena, actually, because we were talking about that, myself and my ma, about putting a break between consonants like that is a thing that the Celtic languages have. So the Irish word for blue is Gorm, gorm, but it's pronounced gorm.
Yeah,
Gorm. Yeah. So film. My aunt says film. My sister says film. I always saw that film.
Do your sisters say film?
Yeah. I don't know about Anya. She's been in
Bostonian
in the States for so long. But
film.
So let's cover our last thing. It's got to be spoken about, even just for a minute. 2 hostages were released. Thank God. At least there's a start. Yocheved Lifshitz. Is that how you say it? How do you say that name?
Lifshitz, yeah.
Lifshitz, 85 years old.
85-year-old peace activist. Wow.
Yeah. It's crazy because that shot you can see there, she is she actually turns around to say shalom, you know, to her abductors. You know, these are Hamas fellas there with the green look.
Yeah.
And she turns back to, you know, they're letting her go, and she actually made a point to turn back and grab his hand and say shalom. And it was so funny watching it, because it's not, the things she said are not the things that the media wants to tell everyone. You know, she's sitting there, that's her daughter who is translating for her. And she's saying things, I mean, at first, obviously horrific, you know, being grabbed and onto a motorcycle and
beaten.
And all the people with sticks and stuff were, you know, hitting everyone with sticks. But then she describes this room where it was clean and they brought food. They shared food together. There was a doctor making sure they were okay. One guy fell off a bike and they grabbed him back up. So he hurt his shoulder and they were tending to his injuries. And none of this shit went down well at all, because the image has to be these monsters who with no regard for life whatsoever. And then, of course, the other narrative is, oh, well, of course she's going to say that because she needs to speak well so her husband is released.
Is he still in custody?
Yeah, he's still there. He's still a hostage.
Well,
but I'm like, you know what? I don't think she's being disingenuous. She's just telling the story about what happened to this poor woman. You know, what a horrific thing to go through, especially at that age, or any age, but certainly at that age. But man, it's been so funny because, of course, I follow all sorts on Instagram and so on, watching all the various clips from Sky News and so on, cutting to something else the minute they start talking about, you know, the minute she mentions them actually being very friendly and kind and sharing food. Like that's not going to fit with the narrative in any way, shape, or form. You know, it was highly embarrassing, I think.
They brought fruit, dates, and honey.
No, but anyway, listen, fuck me, like, this is crazy.
Oh, that's my machine. That's the exact machine I have. That's the Pixie. Per te, macchina omaggio.
Nice.
Look at
that.
that.
For you.
For you. Per te. Per me.
Per te. Specifically.
Well, let's hope somebody gets their act together and everybody stops lying.
Everyone's fucking lying.
Everyone's lying. Yeah. It's all lies.
It's so bad. Yeah.
Lies. Except me, I really do color my hair, but I do look like I'm losing it. Look at that. Looks like that. Like I could do that and be a bald guy. Look at that. I wouldn't make a good bald guy. I don't have a bald guy face. I'm not rugged enough. Got to be rugged to be bald. I'm not rugged.
Are we deliberately avoiding this subject? I guess we are.
This?
No.
No.
Anyway, look, shit, man. It's just, it's getting crazy. I feel like everything's flipping now. It's definitely got a new face, this whole offense, because I've seen so many offensives for so long. People are talking about these abductions and this attack on October 7th. And I'm like, yeah, it's horrible. But like on the grand scale of things, it's like it scores 3 on the Richter scale. I've seen way fucking worse over the past 20, 30 years that I've been following this. You know, so it's not cool in any way. And no one would condone it.
That,
but it's fuck me. It's not that big a blip on the radar in comparison to what's been going on. And now it's been proven once again, 18,000 injured, 2,600 children dead, 6,500 people dead. It's like, do you need any more proof? Like, you know, it's reaching ahead again. And I don't know, there's a lot of protests the world over. I don't know if you've been following it. Maybe you're privy to American media. I'm all over the internet and all over Instagram following all these people on the other side of the fence there, people inside reporting. You know, after we get off here, I'll go onto Instagram and a young reporter, she's, you know, checking in 5 or 6 times a day, charging her phone off car batteries and stuff. You know, they're running out of water and so on. The water's gone. I think now they're all going to start.
Gone.
Yeah, they're all going to die.
They're all going to die. There's going to be it's going to be just.
Yeah, the starvation thing is now beginning to, because the aid trucks, there are hundreds of aid trucks sent. I follow some people as well. Some great influencers actually who just stopped all their influencing bullshit and just dedicated their big, massive channels to gathering funds to help to send aid and so on. So fantastic. And the trucks aren't being let in. Like there's a handful of trucks been let in so far, and there's like hundreds of trucks just waiting with aid from all over the world. Protests all over the world. It's fucking wild in every city. like tens of thousands of people. I've never seen it. I've never seen it this strong, and I feel like it's at a tipping point now, or at least it feels like it's getting close to a tipping point. I don't know what's going to happen. I think then
certainly
Yahoo's going
different
to
than
lose.
it's ever been.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
I think, and probably social media is behind. I mean, do you remember the Arab Spring was one of the big turnarounds there?
Sure.
I think there'll be Arab Spring 2.0, and that's going to be way heavier. I think Bibi's out. He's going to get booted.
That guy needs to be fucking executed in a square.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to go.
Him and his shopaholic wife.
Did you see Ben Gavir, my favorite guy in the world?
Your favorite guy in the universe?
Did you see what he did? He went to the West. First of all, in the West Bank, they're killing people, right? 69, right, in the past week. The Hamas aren't there. There's nothing to do. They keep blaming everything on Hamas. Like earlier on,
because they're terrorists.
Yeah, no, but earlier on, I dropped a cup and it smashed on the kitchen floor, and I went, "Damn you, Hamas!"
Hamas, yeah.
So Hamas are to blame for everything apparently now.
That's why I was fired.
Comical. Hamas. You were, because of Hamas, right? Hey, maybe you were fired because somebody saw the last week's show. Fuck, I never thought about that.
I was pretty benign.
You were. Everyone loved you. They were like, they hate me. I'm fucking.
I was just trying to play devil's advocate.
I know, you were great.
Trying.
You were great. You were great.
I mean, I have a position, and
the guests were fantastic as well. I have to say, both of them. Everyone loved Jon because
I rewatched it. And in hindsight, even though that was a steamroller, I really enjoyed her a lot, and I think I would love to have her back with a far more contextual rendering, because she's got a very interesting story and she's got a lot to say. She was so passionate, and therefore that's why it was presented that way. But I'd like to have a lot more nuanced conversation with her, because she has a lot to say. She really does. Fantastic.
But
so sorry about that.
So Ben Gavir, you know what he did? Because there's a load of settlers, of course, in the West Bank. So they basically just bully you out of your house and go, no, God gave me the house, right? Here are my desert scribblings to prove it from 3,000 years ago. Okay, great. And
desert scribbling.
So Ben Gavir, you know what he did? He gave out rifles. There's a video. I put it on my Instagram. If you follow me on Instagram now, you'd probably have a very different opinion of all this stuff. But I can't blame you for not doing it, because it's very upsetting. He's handing out rifles with the cops right there, handing out rifles to all these lads, just fellas, just guys who own households, settlers, and they have a table with rifles. I don't know whether AR-15s or something, and they're just shaking his hand, and they get, there's your free, there's your free rifle. It's like Oprah. You get a car. You get a car. You get a rifle. They're just no background check, no license to own a firearm. Just you are the son of the chosen. There you go, so you can defend yourself from the filthy animals. Oh my God!
Did he say that?
No, I'm interpreting. If you want to listen to what they say,
I'm gonna
it's way worse than anything I'll say. Way worse.
You're gonna watch it.
Disgusting creatures and animals.
You send me that link, and I will definitely watch it.
Just go.
I always tell people,
it's all there.
How would you like it if you had a house and then your neighbors move in? The next thing you know, one of your bedrooms is missing, and then the next day your bathroom's gone, and then the next day your kitchen is gone, and then the next day, I said, people don't seem to understand that. They don't know the concept of that. You have no right to it. It's just taken over, and they just say, by the will of God, it's my divine right, and they just take it.
There's a great young scholar, writer. She just released a book, a young Jewish American woman who I also follow, and she was like, listen, it's like this. If I went on 23andMe and discovered I have a strong Scottish background, right? Scottish ancestry. So I flew to Scotland, found a house I liked, and knocked on the door and said, get out. This is mine because I've got Scottish ancestry. How fucking nuts does that sound? And that's what's been going on for 75 years. And it's worse now than it has ever been. And their full intention is to take over everything. So it's crazy what's going on. Hamas was formed 20 years ago. This problem predates Hamas by a fuckload. This is Hamas are getting blamed for everything. Apparently, all these children have been crushed like peanuts the past fucking week. It is Hamas's fault. That's amazing to me. That's like, how can you spin a narrative that fluently, that well? You psychopath. You psychopath. You know, that's what the way I'm feeling. So I'm lying in bed in the middle of the night watching clips, just like shouting at the fucking phone, going, "Go fuck yourself, you fucking maniac with your ideas."
So if she had Scottish, that's crazy to me that actually exists. That mentality could actually be real.
Oh, that's what it all is. That's what it all is. It's like that they lived in the land 3,000 years ago and had a deep history. They certainly did. There's no question about that. That doesn't mean that you get to like fuck families out on the street while they're in the middle of dinner, so you can just take the land. Like, that's what's been going on. And they'll give you rifles to defend yourself, and they'll run pipelines, water pipelines, and everything. Settlers just plunk themselves in the middle of land. Some Palestinian farmer comes out in the morning, and there's a bunch of settlers in the middle of his land with the sheep. And he's like, "What are you doing here?" And they're like, "Fuck off, or we'll shoot you." Because the Torah said, we're better. We're more important. Fuck you. The fuck is that bullshit?
Fuck you. You want to see something funny? Here,
Yeah.
listen, look what I'm going to be able to do because you said this, because I'm on 23andMe. Let's see how much of this you can see. Okay.
You're going to go to Ireland and just kick some fat?
No, but you want to have a good snicker here? Now, let me see if I can blow this up a little bit bigger. I can't. This is as big as it gets.
Next 25 while you're looking for that. So what is the solution to the problem? That's a very good, there's the question. Because people get stuck on the history and what's been really going on. What is the solution now that it's been there for a while? Like, look at America. America is built on blood. We all know that. Most Americans wouldn't deny that. You know, most Americans are a little embarrassed about it, and they go, "Shit, yeah, we did kill 90 million people or whatever." And but what is the solution? It's one state. I used to be a two-stater, like everyone was, but one state where there's equality. That's what it is, and you can call it Palestine with an EIN if you want. It doesn't matter. Like, just one place. There can't be an ethnic majority. You can't imagine I made a land saying this is for whites only, and if you're white, you can fly here and just set up land. That's the most racist thing that you could possibly say. And that's exactly what's happening. Somebody from New York with Jewish history or heritage can say, "Okay, we're flying the entire family there," and they'll have more rights than some family who have generations sitting there just because they're brown. They get fucked out on the street. That's putting it very simply, but that's the way it is. So I think the solution is, let people all exist together in one state. It won't be cute at first. It'll be a bit messy, and a lot of people are like, how would you protect the Israelis from these animals? At first, well, actually, the bigger question is, how would you protect the Gazans? Because they're the ones who would be really fucking under the fire. It's like that poor little kid, that little 8-year-old kid who was killed in Chicago. It wasn't the other way around. Anyway.
So this is my map I brought up on 23andMe. On 23andMe, it says I'm 99.996% Irish, and it says I am 0.1% Levantine. So you know what that means, kids? I'm building a house in Gaza.
You're Levantine?
That's what it says. Not. But it says I have trace DNA of 0.1% Levantine. And look at the map. What do you think that is? It's the West Bank right there.
You know what? I should find. Apparently, I have Jewish in my ancestry. Apparently, I should go find it and do a 23andMe, and then fucking fly over there and go, "Hey, I'm Jewish. Get land, and then just give it back to the fucking Palestinians."
You could do that.
Yeah, I could.
Technically, you could do that.
fucking wild. Anyway, it's pretty crazy. I hope it doesn't get to World War III or anything, but
I think it would have happened already.
yeah.
I think it would have happened that week, but there's other shit going on in the world and people are a little sick. Derek, welcome to the semi-retired club. Yay!
Ray.
Yeah.
Good to see you in the house, Ray.
Your brother chimed in. Yes, I got shit canned on Sunday for no apparent reason, but there you go. They must have had one. I'm too nice. That's my problem. Ask my cat. Come here. Come here, my cat. Come here, me love. Look at that face. Look at you. She's me girl. Me girl.
Yes, Caroline, you are right. Yeah.
Right, baby.
Anyway, it's an ongoing situation, but it's funny because for me, I felt a lot of backlash, outspoken about these things. But, it's died down a little bit since I think people have seen the world reaction.
Well,
I'm not
because
out
people
there.
are also very afraid to go, wow, people are rooting for Palestinians.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
very uncool to do that. I mean, in normal circles,
Right.
because the protocol has always been Israel has the right to defend itself. So therefore, and okay, so Hamas did attack them, and now they're defending themselves. Is it overkill? Both sides. It's over. The whole thing's the whole fucking conflict is overkill, kids. The whole thing is.
Yeah.
It's like, but you got to get somebody come in there and just say, you know what? It's not yours, and it's not yours. It's ours, and I'm going to divvy it up. And it was almost Barack Obama. Remember when he said, "I'm going to get a piece of chalk and I'm going to go redraw
67 borders.
Yeah.
Yeah, those clips have resurfaced again. Those clips have resurfaced again. Now, listen, I want to reach out to my audience here. There is a clip that I can no longer find that I assume has been squashed of it was a concert in Israel about 7-8 years ago. No, it was when Trump was moving in. Was that 7-8 years ago? I don't know. Yeah.
It was,
and
no,
2016.
6 years ago.
No, it was 2016.
Okay, that's
right.
7 years ago.
So there was I think Trump had won, but he was still waiting to move into office. And there's a concert. It was a massive concert. It was 20,000-30,000 people, huge arena. And this traditional Hebrew singer, he's Hasidic, whatever, and he's singing this stuff in great band, great arrangements, the whole thing, big concert. And they applaud the end of a song, and then he stops and he makes a little speech between songs, and he goes, when we will have peace, when they get that, I don't want to say the word, N-word, out of office. And the entire crowd applauds.
Who said that? The singer?
The singer. And the entire crowd, 30,000 people easily. Fucking huge uproar. Yes. And that thing, I think they call it shufti or boofti, or there's a word they use. It's the N word for them.
Oh God.
And I sent it to a friend of mine who's Israeli, who lives in New York, and we always get into it we used to get into it on Facebook, the two of us. And so I sent it to him. I was like, can you confirm this? Because your first language is Hebrew. And can you confirm that the translation on this video isn't just Hollywood, as people say, the Palestine Hollywood, people pretending or whatever. I need you to confirm this. I could have sent it to many people. I know a lot of people speak Hebrew. I sent it to him, and he would always confront me on these things. And he just wrote back and he goes, not good. Oh. Now, that video is impossible to find now. It used to be all over the internet, and I've spent my past week looking for it. Man, oh man, they crushed it. I can't even find it on BitChute or 4chan or one of those fucking things.
You're on the dark web.
I need to go dark web. I need to go dark web. I have no fucking clue how to go dark. Meanwhile,
I don't know either, and we know everything about computers, and we don't know. People ask me like, "Well, the dark web."
The dark web. What is the dark web?
I know a person that's full QAnon, and they get all of their information from the dark web. And it's crazy shit. You know, John F. Kennedy Jr. and Donald Trump, they're working on a new world order. There's a new banking system. We're all getting $100,000 put in our new bank accounts. It's crazy. Armageddon is coming. Make sure you have bags of rice in your house, all this stuff. And she gets it all from the dark web. And she goes, well, you know, the dark web. I'm like, well, I actually don't know. She goes, you rebuilt my computer. I said, I know I did, but I don't know how to get on the dark web. I've never researched it because I'm not a pedophile, one, thank God, and I'm not a terrorist, cyber or otherwise. I don't have a reason to go on there.
Nearly, this is a hot topic. Poor people breed more. That's true because they got nothing else to do.
There's nothing else to do but
true.
eat.
Look at the Irish. Like I've got 4 siblings. We're five kids because what else was there to do? You know,
5 Points is the perfect example of immigration and poverty and squalor in New York City. You'd have these cold water flats, these just squalor with 17 children, 18 children, 2 families, because all they did was procreate.
What else is
nothing
there
else to do?
Yeah. Meanwhile, a rich family have the luxury of planning out their children.
Sure.
They have 1 to 2 children, you know, kind of thing. Nathaniel says, give the Islamic population education and economic success and watch that reproductive rate plummet in one generation. As always, Nathaniel is the voice of reason. Thank you.
What happened in China? Then when they started banning you and drowning your daughters, now they generally have 1 child because they're so super fucking educated and rich now. They don't give a fuck because they're the most capitalist society in the world right now.
Sure.
They used to be breeding like hotcakes.
Oh, it's true. It's true.
It's true. I mean, how many people are having more than 1 or 2 kids now? I mean, my niece, she has a lot of kids. Mary Ryan's sister has 9 children. How about that? These are oddities.
That's oddities, yeah.
It's a girl that my BFF girlfriend and a girl that Ush knows very well. Her sister, Mary herself, has 4 children, but her sister has 9. That's very rare.
Yeah.
You know,
growing up in Dublin, 42. We were one of the smaller families, actually.
Sure.
In our neighborhood. Yeah.
That's not a lot of kids, 5 kids. I come from 4, you know.
Yeah.
You know, my grandmother, my father was one of 10. My grandmother was one of 10. All those people that in Limerick and Sligo, they were just fucking like crazy rabbits.
Rabbits, yeah.
They were. Because what was there to do? Maybe go fishing, maybe have a pint or whatever that was there, and then fuck. Sorry to be crass, but
it's a great way to make all your problems go away.
Right. But there's
for a brief moment, right?
The hardship and the
I know, it just invites,
so much. I mean, the economic struggle to have 9 children and be on the dole.
Well, Chris Hitchens, who I often quote, said that the answer to poverty in the world is the empowerment of women. He said that women are better with money, they're better with organizing, and if they have, across the world, if they have the ability to govern their reproductive system, that all of a sudden poverty will begin to disappear. The empowerment of women is the first step.
Agreed.
For the complete eradication of poverty on the planet Earth. And I thought, God rest his soul, I miss him every day. I thought that was a very, very smart thing to say.
Sure. Well, strike down Roe v. Wade as they've done and get all these little hillbilly girls up in the Blue Mountains knocked up galore and they can't get rid of the kids. And then you've got, you know, more stories of Dolly Parton's family living with 12 children and no shoes because they can't afford them because they're knocked up. And you know what? There's always one guy that's willing to knock her up again and again and again and again. And he's in and out of prison as well. So, yeah, that whole fucking thing is so annoying. That's another episode.
Yeah, he's right. WJ74. He also said women weren't funny. That's true.
Did he say that?
Yeah. He said that women have strong senses of humor, but that men, it's innate in men to be funny and that quite often when women are funny, it's male kind of humor and so on. It was a very controversial thing he said, and there was blowback from Tina Fey and versus various other people.
Sure.
Of course, it's not funny at all, and all you have to do is be on TikTok or Instagram for literally 10 minutes, and you'll see that it's not true at all. So he was not without fault.
I mean, that's a
Some of the funniest people I follow on Instagram are hilarious female actresses who do little skits. Oh my God.
Sure.
But stand-up comedy, was dominated by men still kind of
it was always white Jewish men forever.
Forever.
Lenny. Who's not funny, by the way. I don't find him funny. Do you?
Who? Lenny Bruce?
Yeah, I don't think that he's funny.
He wasn't funny in the latter half of his career.
Send me some funny shit, because everything I've ever seen of that guy, I'm like, I don't get it. I watched Dustin Hoffman do it. I don't get it.
You watched that film?
I did.
It's a good film.
It's an interesting film. I prefer the King of Comedy, though.
Oh yeah, well that's darker. That's different. I mean, it's so dark. King of Comedy is. I love that film.
Me too.
De Niro is so good at that film.
So good at that.
What's her name? The obsessed fan who winds up tying up Jerry.
Jerry Lewis.
Jerry Lewis. Isn't it great that Jerry Lewis?
What
and De
what
Niro
a sport.
were in a film together. It's amazing, guys. I'm sure most of you have seen King of Comedy. One of Martin Scorsese's flops, but
it was
an eternal
one of the
classic.
flops.
Yeah, a classic and very, very dark. You know what? Scorsese is very good at doing dark, and that's why I'm looking forward to seeing this new film. Because
talking about Masha.
Masha?
Was it Sandra Bullock's character?
In what?
In the King of Comedy.
No, it's Sandra Bullock. What are you talking about?
Not Sandra Bullock. Sorry, Sandra Bernhardt. Sorry.
Yeah, I think that was her.
Yeah.
She's like crazy in it.
She's a very unattractive lady. Forgive me.
Yeah, but and brilliant at that.
She's brilliant.
Just embracing that role. That's important to know that you've gotten the part because you aren't attractive, and that's the whole point. That takes a very evolved actor to just move into that and lean into it.
Every time you see a fat, ugly person in a commercial, like the casting probably said, looking for a fat, ugly person. I'm like, hey, that's me.
That's me. Give me the part.
I mean, they can't say that now. Middle-aged, dad bod. What are the terms, to not say fat doughboy, you got to say middle-aged, comfortable in his dad bod.
Rutger H, $10. Thank you so much, man. Let's also remember what the great Bill Hicks said about life. Yeah, it's just a ride, man. It's just a ride.
Yeah.
Love Bill. Miss Bill every day.
Every day. Yeah, it's great. Genius. It is.
Good show, man. I think that was a good one.
I do too. And we kept everybody up. We had like 270, 300 for a while. So thanks everybody for sticking in, and ups and downs and watches and Israel and Palestine and people getting fired and depression.
We still keep it entertaining, hopefully.
I mean, listen, if you can't laugh at life, what can you fucking laugh at?
I know.
I mean,
you have to. You have to.
Right.
This is what I have to throw it out to the Irish. We're very good at that.
Resiliency.
We just laugh at ourselves. We laugh at life. Yeah. It's very important. And Jewish people too. I mean, every comedian in New York City, self-deprecation is a magnificent thing. It's a superpower.
Yeah,
it is not to be offended. Not to be offended by every fucking thing that comes your way. It's a beautiful thing.
I'm not offended.
Well, now that you're unemployed, we could probably do this show more often.
We could do it every day. The Daily Bash.
Would you guys? Here's a question to
the audience.
Would you guys watch it? Okay, that's okay. Tomorrow, but would you guys watch Eye Bashers every day?
Would you?
No one's going to say no, because
better this. Let's be capitalist. Better yet, how much would you pay for Eye Bashers every day?
Yeah, can we not Have Dirk go back to another bar and just have him do what he does best, which is clearly be the
Call
amazing
people
person
cunts.
he is on screen and petting his cat. Like, can we make that a thing, guys? Let's do it as a team. We're all peer. You guys are my peers, or most of you guys are
Course.
smarter,
Oh
way
my
smarter
God.
than I am. And can't we? Bob Sacamano. Nope.
Do you know what? It's that or OnlyFans. And I would
OnlyFans, get your dick out, man.
get your dick out. Get your dick out. You don't have to get your dick out on OnlyFans. You could just I know a girl, I know a different girl, and I've told everybody about the one girl that I know. As she wears a bra and she just opens up jars.
What do you mean jars? She opens literally.
She opens jars like this. Oh shit. Like this.
Oh, it's ASMR.
Well, no, she's doing like cleavage scenes, you know?
Ray. Fuck no. Jesus, I get nothing done, you bunch of Yeah, you'd get nothing done. If we were on every night, we'd fuck up your week big time.
It's funny stuff. OnlyFans. Doesn't have to be that. You could just like put on a pair of socks, take off a pair of socks, put on a pair of socks, paint your toenails. You don't have to be sticking things in your gi. You don't. You'll make more money if you do. However,
actually, I think the people who make most money on OnlyFans are people who reveal less. They really dangle the carrot.
Of course.
The minute you cross over and you go full on and you do the whole thing, then then it's done. Like the mystery is gone, right? That's why some celebrities, or I don't know, B-list celebrities, go into OnlyFans, because it's kind of like,
it's like,
haven't you ever thought what it would look like, or whatever?
You know the Cameo thing? That's really bad.
Yeah, it's like Cameo, yeah.
So I know a lot of people I have a lot of famous friends. Hey, our friend Mike, do you know who Mike Portnoy is, right? The drummer?
Yes, sure.
He rejoined his band Dream Theater today after 13 years.
Oh, wow.
So for who's ever in the rock scene, that's pretty big news, because like he was very, very badly kicked out of that band for wanting to take a break. But I know a lot of people who are not exactly, stars, who do cameos, and I kind of feel sad that people do that, and I think it's hard to take money from people who are fans of yours, even though you want them to come to your concerts and buy records. That's taking your money, right?
Yeah,
I get it. But then the thing is, like, I just wanted to wish a happy birthday to Clarissa and say, happy birthday, Clarissa. That's embarrassing, I think. And you're taking money for it,
That's true.
I don't know. I just think it is. It's like the next stop is you're putting things in your gi. Unspeakable things. Terrible things. Anyway.
All right, man.
Enough about putting things in your gi.
Well, listen, I hope what happened at the weekend leads to better things. That's what.
Yeah. Sure, of course it is. And I have the weekends off. I can go to brunch. Who wants to go to brunch?
And we can do it. We can do a weekend eyebashers. That'd be great.
When once I get all of my money out,
we can do it later. We can do it later as well. We can do and you can actually have a drink, and kick back and really get into eyebashers form.
Oh yeah.
Is that right? HR Fusion, Aaron said. Yeah, of course it is. Emmett played that at one of our shows.
Yeah, I've got a black one. It's a 1995. I think 80. No, Emmett's a 93. Emmett's is a 87, right? Emmett's is a tobacco burst and mine.
Emmett's is an Alex Lifeson one.
Well, this is the exact same guitar.
Right.
See, this is the Howard Roberts Fusion 3. Alex was the 1. So Alex Lifeson's didn't have this very fancy tailpiece, this Art Deco tailpiece thing. He had a stop tailpiece on it, and it's
Oh,
the same shape, you know. But it's beautiful.
love that guitar. Sings, man. It sings.
Yeah, because it's got F holes in it, you know, and it's
Yeah.
his brother. When his brother plays, this is his signature sound. I think he plays Les Pauls now, but this thing is.
He means my brother. Yeah.
I'm talking about Sheen's brother. That guy's brother. That guy's brother. That guy. He doesn't see it, but that's okay. We see it. Whenever he picks up one of those guitars, I'm like, oh, there's Emmett. There's the sound. It's a
There
different
it
thing.
is.
It's
It
just as
is.
good, but man, there's the thing. It's a thing. It's like when the Edge picks up the Explorer.
Right.
What
It's a
happens when he does
it's a
that?
thing. Yeah.
It's a
It's
thing.
true, man. But we can only see it from the outside. He can't see it. I don't
Sure, he
know.
can't see it. You know, he's got a Les Paul thing, and he's got a
He's
lot
a
of them,
Les
and they're
Paul, yeah.
beautiful, and sounds great. He plays great, but
Yeah.
then something happens when he picks that up. Just holy,
It's true. It's true.
it's inexplicable.
Good
Whereas
show,
people
man.
would say now unexplainable. Oh boy,
Inexplicable. Good word.
inexplicable.
Good word. Good word.
It's the word. It's just the word for something you can't explain. When it's unexplainable. Oh God. You know what drives me crazy? Here's my rant. I'm gonna end this with a rant.
Fine.
Okay. Tiffany and Company. When it says and co, it doesn't mean pronounce it co. It means company. People are now saying, oh, Harrison and Co. No, guys, it's just an abbreviate. It means company, and you're supposed to say company. I saw a guy on television go, outside of Tiffany and Co. No, it's Tiffany and Company, you morons. What the fuck is happening to people? Tiffany and Co. It's company. Say company. It's just an abbreviate.
I've probably made that mistake a few times.
You've never done that. I would have said, what? What I see it all the time. It's like people who say Fifth Ave, Sixth, Seventh Ave, Lex. I'm like, no, there's no
never do that.
Ave.
No.
There's no Ave in New York. You just say Third, Lex, Madison Park. You don't say Second Ave. And if you do say Ave, you say Avenue. You don't say Second Ave. It's like, I know you're from Jersey. You just showed me you're from Jersey. But the kids are all doing it. It's just annoying. I just saw it. And it's fun to end the show on a rant, isn't it? Tiffany and
Always.
Co. Eye bashers and Co.
Where is our co? Where is our company? We need that.
I mean, we should just start when we start our merches, all our merchandise.
Well, we need intro and outro music. So
Well-
I promise I'll deal with that in the coming days.
Feel
And
free to goof around with it. I mean, I haven't listened to it in 8 months.
yeah, I'll goof.
I don't know.
I'll goof. Yeah, And
give it a gorgeous mix, will you? There, I've got horns on there. I've got
I'll add my thing. This is the
Yeah.
beauty of the eye bashers. We're kind of opposites in many ways, and that
Yeah.
kind of it's the two wheels on the bicycle.
put
So-
some shit on it.
Yeah, and then we could do the merch. What would our slogans? What would our merch slogans be?
Bash you. Eddie says, I can't imagine living with you, Dirk. I haven't asked you, so you haven't even been asked yet. That's a great line from the Wizard of Oz. When that's not too old of a movie to quote, right? Because it's a
No.
classic.
It's a classic.
When
Timeless.
Toto, when they go to Professor Marvel in the caravan, and he goes into the crystal ball, but he has a basket of he's making hot dogs. He's making frankfurters because there were no hot dogs. And Toto goes to take a bite and she smacks him. She goes, Toto, we haven't even been asked yet.
Oh, nice.
I always love the lines in that movie. It's so polite. She's telling her dog to be polite. Dogs can't be polite. They don't understand the concept.
Dude, I follow a guy on Instagram who has one of those sheep dogs who round up the sheep. Oh my God, it's the most incredible thing. It's like a little thing I watched, like a little guilty pleasure, just watching this sheepdog. And then the audience asked him recently, what happens if you give him no commands? And he goes, okay, watch. And the dog is just like looking at him. Looking back. He won't do a thing until he hears his command, and man, does that thing spring into action.
Sure.
It's incredible to see a canine do that. What a wonderful, wonderful. When you meet a great dog owner with a fantastic specimen, it's just so impressive. It's so rare. It's so rare. But don't get me on that rant, because you don't want me on that rant. Okay, listen. Maybe I'll see you at the weekend. Bum. You bum, you.
I'm a bum. I'm a deadbeat.
No,
I have to
you're
go. My
deadbeat, no
beautiful
job.
Aunt Ronnie died the other day. She's my last aunt.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And
You didn't say that.
I didn't say, because just
Oh,
everything's
man.
it's as you get older, everybody
Jesus
starts dying.
Christ.
My beautiful Aunt Ronnie, my beautiful cousin Denise, who used to visit my dad in the hospital and came to see my mom. She was there more than we were. My cousin Denise, she's amazing. Her mom died, my Aunt Ronnie, and so she's gonna have her wake and funeral. So I'll be involved in that the next 2 days, and then I'm a man of leisure. I'm gonna
Like
be
me.
having, I'm gonna
Welcome
be a
to
man
the
of
club,
leisure.
man. I haven't had a real job in I don't know how long.
You
Michael
know?
Paris, I have a sheepdog border collie. That's the one I was looking. That's
Yeah,
the
border collie. Yeah, they're super smart. Yeah.
that's the type. I was like, Shane McQuirk. Cheers.
Yeah.
This
What
is your
do I have
first
to do for that?
OnlyFans commission. Yeah.
What do I have to do for that?
You gotta whip it out, man.
Like,
Someday I'll buckle.
I'm
I'll
gay,
just
and I
start-
don't know why that appeals to anybody. It's got to be
Mark
something more to that.
Gerard, we love you, Dirk. My sympathies for your
Thanks
loss. He's
very much.
fine. He's good though. He's
I'm
good.
all right, I'm all
You
right,
can
all right.
see he's all right.
Pragmatic,
All right.
man. Be pragmatic. It's all good.
Thank you for hanging on. Anybody
Good
who
things come
did,
to
and thank
those
you.
who wait.
Absolutely, and thanks anybody who super chatted. That was wonderful. If I missed any super chats, let me know. Just hit me with an email or refund
We
you
love
immediately.
you guys and girls.
And great
We're
having
gonna
her.
watch Lady today. She
I
come back
don't
to my
know.
measures. What happened?
I don't know. Maybe she thinks we're going to talk about that.
Where were you?
Those we don't speak of. The problem we actually do speak of. Maybe that's why she avoided it. I don't know. Maybe she's got better things to do this evening. She'll probably watch it all tomorrow.
She went to a fabulous party.
Yeah, with wonderful people with amazing watches. She'll probably listen to it tomorrow. Anyway,
Carolyn Martin was here, and Patricia Teague are leading ladies, the leading ladies of the Bashers.
Some of them, yes,
they are the leading ladies of the Bashers. They are.
Thank you, guys and gals. See you soon.
Thank you very much.
I'll be on Friday for Who Needs a Drink.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put out some previews of the big content, the Vienna and the Ireland and other things in the coming days too. So watch out for that. Have a great night. I'm going to send you guys over to Tim. He's in Los Angeles right now with our good friend Sean. And so just leave it running and you'll pop over there. And that'll be fun out in the streets of Los Angeles, sunny streets of LA. So check it out. Enjoy. They'll probably be talking watches. Sean will probably have his Audemars Piguet, his rose gold Audemars Piguet on. See you, Dirk. Thanks so much, man.
Thanks, Ish.
Great show. Great show.
Great show. Great show. Buonanotte.